I want to start a totally new, fresh segment that has never been done anywhere in entertainment before, where Billy was right and where Billy was wrong. But before we do that, Billy came in today, and the first words he said to me, it wasn't good morning, it was COVID ruined nobility. I don't have any other thoughts beyond that because you haven't expounded. You just, it's the first thing I heard from you, and then you walked away.
Well, I don't like the segment that you're pitching just on the front end. I don't like that situation whatsoever. No, I'm sick. I don't know if you can hear. I'm a little bit sick. And there was like a time when you were sick and you didn't want to leave, you let your team down or your coworkers down or whatever, and you're like, I'm going to power through. I'm going to go into work. And now that's very much frowned upon. Like, I would love to have stayed home today, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to miss 2 days in a row. I'm going to go in, and I'm just getting judgment left and right when I'm out there. I'm not doing anything. I'm not touching people's food. I'm not sneezing in their faces. I'm just existing.
You don't feel like you're welcome? We missed you yesterday.
I don't feel like I'm
Wild
welcome,
Willie
no.
Wednesday was missed yesterday.
I actually had Robert told me, Robert who does something here, Robert said to me.
He's the head of our IT. He doesn't do something. He
engineering, not IT now.
He keeps everything up in the air.
He tries. So anyways, Robert told me, go home. And I was like, oh, okay, welcome, Robert. Thank you for welcoming me in.
Do you want me to start with where Billy was right or where Billy was wrong?
Neither, ideally. Why, did you see The Smashing Machine? Are you going to talk to me about that movie?
I didn't see The Smashing Machine, but
this A24 of yours is something else, man. Let me tell you something. A24, everything they do is great. Watch The Smashing Machine.
A24 has a better studio pub than any studio making things right now.
A24 is awesome. I love their movies.
So did Bernie Madoff until the end, right? Everyone was like, oh, we got to trust this Bernie Madoff situation. Then all of a sudden we couldn't trust him anymore. Look, this is all I'll say about The Smashing Machine, which is not what we were talking about. And I don't want to ruin the movie. I'm not going to give you any spoilers or anything.
Is this like you standing out because everyone loves The Smashing Machine?
No, I'm not trying to stand out. But I'm just saying, if you watch scene to scene, and I'm not someone that
That's how I watch movies.
Here's the score, here's the lighting, here's the writing, here's the this, here's the that. I'm not someone who would ever be like, the makeup in this movie. But I will say this, and when you're watching it, and I don't want this to be like the situation where like, we pointed out how much Stugotz fake laughed on Stupidity, and no one could watch it again after that because they're like, oh, all it is fake laughing. But if you watch The Smashing Machine, just go scene to scene and try to tell me that The Rock looks like the same person from one scene to the next. Because every time it seems like, okay, this was a different day of shooting because he just looks different with all of the prosthetics and stuff. Doesn't look like the same person from one scene to the next.
That's all I'm going to think about now when I see it. Like you may have just ruined it for me.
I told you, don't let this ruin it for you.
That doesn't matter. You don't get to say
you.
that. You don't get to say, don't let something ruin it, and then say the thing. And it's like, I have to remember, but Billy told me not to let it ruin it for me. That's the way it works.
That's how you spot the reshoots. Do that with Marvel movies, too. Wait, that's not its beard length.
Do you guys think that if you were Colin Farrell or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, that you would do anything that required you to be 3 or 4 hours a day in makeup?
How much am I getting paid?
But they get paid that without being 3 or 4 hours a day in makeup.
Yeah, but they're paying me that, so I'm going to do that. Nah, not if it gets you hardware. Hardware takes you to a new salary structure.
But The Rock's already like the highest grossing person. He already gets paid the most. Like the hardware is just about
love
ego.
of the game. You know what he wants? Respect.
That's right.
I want my respect.
Who are you impersonating?
That's LeBron after he won his fourth. I want my damn respect.
Okay. It's not a great impersonation you're doing.
He doesn't deserve a good impersonation.
What do you mean?
No.
He's still one of the top 10 players in the world, and he's 400 years old.
Wins a championship. I want my damn respect.
Football is back, Jack. Oh my, we've waited for so long. We're so damn excited that we put it in a song. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. Keep your fantasy team from falling off the track. Football is back, Jack. Whether on the ground or through the air, when the chips are down and you throw a prayer, when your team is primed and on the hunt, it's 4th and 10, you refuse to punt. When the shoulder pads and helmets crack, that's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say. Football is back, Jack. This high is wild and out of control. And we're gonna ride it every week till we reach the Super Bowl. Don't need no check downs. Give me big hits and quarterbacks. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Have you spent the last couple of weeks singing that Greg Cody football song? Because it's a bit of a banger. Jeremy is in the other room now, changing all of his permutations from yesterday. As soon as we started talking about the Marlins playoff permutations, the Phillies hit 8 home runs against the Marlins to win last night. It's the most the Phillies have ever hit in a game. Can you guys look up for me how long the Phillies have been playing baseball? Because I think it's fairly amazing that as soon as we started talking about the Marlins playoff possibilities, they lose 11-1. A Sosa not named Sammy hits 3 home runs. Schwarber, of course, hits 2. 50 home runs used to mean something, but now Seattle has a catcher, the big dumper, who just hit 60. And he is, let's see, who do we have non-steroid division who's ever hit 60 before? Because he's the 7th player ever to hit 60, but non-steroid division, it's just Roger Maris and Babe Ruth, right? Aaron Judge has also hit 60? Didn't know that. Okay.
Are we sure about Maris?
Yeah, remember when we couldn't watch a Wake Forest football game without being reminded? Not the same sort of fanfare for a catcher to do it. It was kind of weird.
Or a non-Yankee. Seattle's a very likable team.
Philly started playing baseball May 1st, 1883.
So it's been 150 years that the Phillies have been playing baseball, and they've never hit 8 home runs in a game until we started talking about the Marlins playoff chances.
Let me be real and upfront with the audience. I'm in a Mariners group chat. Haven't watched a single game this year. I was all in last year. This year, married with a kid, baseball kind of fell by the wayside this year. Hard to track. It is absolutely insane to me that a catcher hits 60 home runs. More so, that it's a really good defensive catcher. Like, he won a platinum glove, which I just discovered is a thing, which means it's not just you're the best at your position. It's better than a gold glove. Yeah. You're the best defensive player in your league.
Wait, gold is better than platinum?
No, he's saying platinum is better than gold.
Platinum is better than gold because it is the best defensive player regardless of position. He won that last year. All right, this is a guy that 2 years ago told his GM and manager to make some moves at the trade deadline, and he was admonished for it. And then 2 years later, he's helping win that team its first division title since 2001 as a sterling defensive catcher, as a catcher that hits a ridiculous 60 home runs.
He hit 2 yesterday. We'll get back to
One
that.
landed in the third deck.
Yeah, it's crazy how good he is. And I am not ashamed to tell you that the sport has changed so much that I'm just wildly confused as to why it is there weren't a whole bunch of people hitting 60 home runs before this. Now that Aaron Judge can get into the 50s easily, he's got like 3 or 4 straight seasons of 50 home runs. The game has changed so much that it's legitimately disorienting to me to see the way they're playing it now, where a fourth of the time players strike out. That's just league average. 1 out of every 4 players is striking out, and they're all swinging for home runs. But, Bill, you were sick yesterday, and I want to get to where Billy was right and where Billy was wrong. But before I go to Jeremy out there to give us the new playoff permutations, because the Marlins haven't been eliminated yet, I want to get your thoughts on meaningful Marlins baseball the last week of the season. Were you hurting last night while you were watching? Certainly you've been interested in the 7-game winning streak that preceded that, right?
I mean, hurting, no. It was funny to see, like, September 24th or whatever, that a bunch of Phillies fans were tweeting at me talking crap, where it's like, guys, like, you've won this division. Yeah. If you're flexing on beating the Marlins the end of September, like, you're a loser. You have a loser mentality. You're not going to win the World Series when you're tweeting at Billy Gill about the Phillies hitting 8 home runs in a game. I'm surprised that they're still in it. Like, it's a great story that there's like 4 games left in the season and they're still not technically eliminated. I mean, I don't think that anybody thinks that they're going to make the playoffs. They have to jump too many teams, but it's still meaningful. And now you can see in the offseason, like, hey, do you build upon this team, or was this kind of like a fluky situation? It's a fun spot to be in where they're still competing.
I can't decide whether I want to be mad at the organization for not spending more, being like, oh, look what this roster you had. If you would have spent a little more, you could be better, or you could look at it as, look how good they're doing without spending. Like, the Mets are probably looking at the Marlins like, look how much money we're spending, and we're a couple games ahead of these guys.
Yeah, but you had a lot of guys kind of come out of nowhere that, like, Peter Bendix could have believed in by acquiring them as throw-in pieces in a trade, but, like, you don't know that they're going to pan out the way that they've panned out. So it's a surprise team, and you can kind of see how they build around it. I did like this. I did like that Sandy was pushed to go start in the Mets series just to ruin the Mets season. Like, I love that.
What day is he supposed to start?
That's a good question.
He's
CBA on that.
he's been better the last half of the season, but to your point, Chris, as to whether they should have spent or not, if their Cy Young winner had simply been Cy Young, they'd be in the playoffs like the Mets are. They didn't need to go acquire a whole bunch of people. They just needed their Cy Young winner not to have an ERA of 5.5 for the season. If he'd simply been mediocre all season, not even a Cy Young winner. Not even a Cy Young winner. If their Cy Young winner had been mediocre this season, we'd be talking about them already being in the playoffs. But let's go out to Jeremy, who's had to recalculate all of this math now. Jeremy, keep us up to date on I thought yesterday would be catastrophic. I thought losing 11-1 to the Phillies would eliminate them, but they are still somehow in it. Explain to me how that's so.
That's right, Dan. So the Marlins are still in it based off all these permutations. The thing that you need to know first and foremost is the Marlins are going to need to go 4-0 to make the postseason. The moment they lose a game, whether that's tonight against the Phillies or any game against the Mets, they will be eliminated. But in order to keep their playoff hopes alive, the only things that they need are a Mets loss
The only
tonight.
ones.
No. Let's just hear me out. They need to win out. They need the Mets to lose tonight to the Chicago Cubs because, of course, the Marlins winning out would mean the Mets lose out from there. And they need Arizona and Cincinnati to not win 2 more games. They can each win 1 more of their next 4 in order for the Marlins to advance.
Chris
Because
Cody,
those
what are
two
you
teams
laughing about?
sit at
So
80
many
wins.
words up there. Like, they're screwed. You should just put we're screwed.
No, they're still in it.
This is very much alive. Guys, Arizona and Cincinnati.
Very much alive.
They're alive.
They're alive with 4 games to play.
But you would call it very much alive?
Here's why they're very much alive. Because look at all of the tiebreaker scenarios. The only team that the Marlins can end up in a 2-team tiebreaker with at this point would be the Mets at 81 wins, okay? 81 and 81. I was saying 82 and 82 yesterday. I was speeding myself up. That's my mistake. But at 81 and 81, they would tie with the Mets. They would clinch the postseason berth because of their 8-5 head-to-head record with New York. Then look at every 3-team tiebreaker that's possible. They all include the Mets, and thus that 8-5 record against the Mets, should they sweep them this weekend, Marlins would clinch every single 3-team tiebreaker.
Jeremy, hold on. You're telling me that the Marlins can actually knock the Mets out of the playoffs by simply sweeping them at the end of the season? The Mets, I thought the Mets were in.
No.
Not if they win today, though.
If the Mets win today, the only thing the Marlins can do is knock the Mets out because Arizona or Cincinnati could ultimately jump them. But if the Mets lose tonight and the Marlins sweep them, the Marlins would make the postseason over the Mets. That is factually correct because of
Nothing
their
else
head-to-head
has to
record.
happen.
In
If the Mets lose tonight and we sweep the Mets, we're in the playoffs?
No,
then
no,
Cardinals.
you
See,
need
now we're screwed.
all. Guys, this is not that complicated.
Arizona
D-backs and
and
the Reds.
Cincinnati
Yeah.
cannot both win tonight.
It's
And if
not-
the Mariners do something,
They
right?
can win tonight. They would just need to be swept over the weekend. You need Arizona or Cincinnati to end up at 81 games as well, right? They both have 80 wins right now. They have 4 games to play. You can't let them get to 82. It's that simple. But if they stay at 81 wins, they go 1-3 over their next 4, which is entirely possible. These teams are all sitting right around 500. That's where you get into the tiebreaker scenarios. And as you look through it,
All right, I think we're done with this.
So he's going to go to 4-team
Whoa.
tiebreakers.
We didn't get to the
He's
6-team
going to go.
tiebreaker
What
yet.
about the 6-team tie? Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead. Keep going.
All it is to say the 6-team tiebreaker, I didn't get to finish writing it. Ultimately, that would go to the Marlins as well. They would have the best head-to-head record against the other 5 teams combined. And when you look at it, the 3-team tiebreakers, Marlins would clinch all of them. The 4-team tiebreakers, the Marlins would clinch every single one of them unless it was the Marlins, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, and the Reds because of percentage points. The Reds would have a better percentage points record, 579 to 576 over the Marlins. Outside of that, every single potential tiebreaker at 81 wins, the Marlins would win that tiebreaker because of their head-to-head record against these teams.
How would you win a 5-team tiebreaker, including Cincinnati, but not a 4-team tiebreaker, including Cincinnati?
Because ultimately the record against St. Louis and San Francisco, so the head-to-head record for the Marlins against those individual teams is stronger than the head-to-head record for the Reds against those individual teams.
Wait, we do 2-team tiebreakers? We don't do the game 163 anymore?
We do not do the game 163.
I don't like
Jeremy,
that.
look at the
Head-to-head
screen.
tiebreaker.
Look at the screen,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
I see the screen.
No, leave Jeremy alone. That's a joke for the audience.
Remember game 163 a couple years ago?
I
with like
loved game
Oh my God,
163.
it was like the most exciting baseball game of the season.
An
I think
extra playoff game.
more people probably watched that than the World Series. I don't know if that's true or not, but I remember, right? It was the Rockies, someone else, and one of the bald Rocky guy slides into home plate. He cuts his chin, his helmet comes off. I'll never forget it. I don't remember the name of the team, but I'll never forget it.
There is something that was more watched than a World Series game a couple of nights ago. It's the Jimmy Kimmel Show. That is something that represents where Billy was wrong. The number that the Jimmy Kimmel Show, Jimmy Kimmel Live did, was over 6 million people tuning in live to late night television. That's a college football number. That's nuts. That is crazy to have that in the middle of the night.
Miami, Florida did 6.5 million viewers.
Maybe people were interested in Glenn Powell.
And, Billy, you'll be happy to know that you were right and I was wrong. Those arches out there that they're spending $850 million on are indeed the thing that is going to be holding up the bridge of the future.
Really?
Yeah. It's not the actual bridge.
It's a suspension bridge.
But it's going to be, it is what he was saying. It's going to be like the Golden Gate Bridge where they're building the arches and the arches is where the bridge will hang from. You will not drive, obviously, on the arches, but that's what's going to hold up the bridge that they're building out there that has made downtown such a zoo.
Driving on the
recently.
arch would be intense.
Was anyone asking that question?
I don't think anyone thought they were going to drive on that arch.
Wait,
did you
Dan-
think that?
Did Dan think this?
I didn't think it was a bridge. I just thought it was an arch. I thought it was only meant to be something that made our skyline beautiful. I didn't think they were attaching a bridge to it.
Like
I
a
thought
bike
that-
path in there, maybe?
I thought it was just an ornament. That'd be a great bike path.
I don't know about great.
Little
You get-
dangerous
The way
on the
up
way
is going to
down.
be hell.
It looks hollow on the inside, right? Like you think if like you walk across that little bridge there that's holding the two pieces together, you think if you walk across it, you slide down that side?
I want Tony's next week's top 5 from there, right there, standing.
From where?
That
What do you
little
mean?
like bridge,
The scaffold that's
Yeah,
holding
the
both of them
scaffold in
together?
between the two of them.
That's where I
yeah.
want
A
you.
little dangerous suspension thing.
You going to bail me out?
Jeremy will be doing pitch clock today later in the show in post game. The baseball playoffs are about to start. It's an exciting time. I do love this time of year. I can't believe what's happening with the Detroit Tigers. It's the single worst collapse in baseball history. They were 15.5 up in the middle of July, and it's just not something that you ever see. But I want to talk about the home runs last night, and I want to talk about Cal Raleigh. Like the idea.
The Maris family better be there, and we better get cut-ins. He can pass Judge. There's 4 games left. He can do this. Hell, he can catch Bonds. I wouldn't put it past him because nothing gets past Big Dumper.
What's he got to do to pass Bonds?
13 more, I think. Well, to tie.
In 4 games, are they still playing in Colorado? Do they have the 4 games in Colorado? He hit 2 last night in Colorado.
Big Dumper, my boy. He's got pop, which leads me to a traditional sports radio topic. Who's the greatest FSU catcher of all time?
Whoa.
He is.
Like 2 options, right?
I mean, no, you got 3. You got Maurer, you got Buster Posey,
Maurer.
and you got the Big Dumper. So we take them all at the peak of their powers. And again, Buster Posey, brilliant player, tremendous defensive player as well. Dumper, platinum glove there. Zaslow. So I would say
Who was the Marlin that almost ended Buster Posey's career?
Scott Cousins.
Scott Cousins. That's right. They got that.
Stupid Buster Posey ruined baseball.
So you take this Cal Raleigh season and you make that the amalgamation of Cal Raleigh at the peak of his powers. And that's a 7.2 WAR. Buster Posey's best WAR was 7.6, which is, it just boggles the mind. Like, how could Buster Posey have had a better season?
Well, he had an MVP season. They won the World Series when he was an MVP.
Yeah, but Cal's having an MVP season, and he's hitting 60 dingers.
All right, put it on the poll, please. Did stupid Buster Posey ruin baseball?
That used to be my computer backdrop. Scott Cousins trucking Buster Posey. You know, when you used to be able to put an image. I guess you still can.
I think you still can.
On your laptop. Yeah, but no one does that anymore, right?
On their laptop?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Do you?
Yeah.
What's your background?
My show logo, Zaslow Show 2.0.
Oh.
Billy, I don't think you said Buster Posey might be better than Big Dumper, and he was the MVP of a championship season. But did Buster Posey ever hit even 30 home runs in a season? Did he ever hit 25 home runs? Did Buster Posey ever hit 25 home runs in a season? So that you guys can sort of absorb how much baseball has changed. Did the MVP of a World Series champion, Buster Posey, ever hit 30 home runs in a season?
No, his career high was 24.
That season, probably.
Yes.
And so when it comes to individual measurements, Mike, I think OPS and OPS Plus is where you go. Is Big Dumper having a better OPS and OPS Plus season than Buster Posey did, the greatest season of his life when he won the MVP and they won the championship?
I'm not here to be deposed. That's for somebody else to figure out. But I think Jeremy does have an update on my traditional sports radio topic. We kick it out to Jeremy.
Well, ultimately, look, the peak of Cal Raleigh in doing this as a catcher behind the plate, the craziest part about getting to potentially 60 home runs is just the wear and tear that comes with it. Because to be able to produce that type of power, on the flip side, Buster Posey showing up every day and hitting about 330 as he was such a tremendous defensive catcher in the middle of an order that didn't have quite as much protection. The peak of their powers, it's really hard to argue one way or another. But I do want to get back to something that Chris was questioning. Because all that needs to happen is that the Diamondbacks and the...
Brother, you're doing this wrong. Just best FSU catcher of all time.
It's not Joe Mauer. He didn't go there.
He committed there, but then got drafted.
I mean, he was finishing third anyways. Let's be real.
The Kimmel monologue not only did more than 6 million people in the middle of the night, it also did more than 20 million people on YouTube. So 3 times as many people on YouTube watched as we're watching.
A couple people watched it twice, probably.
But then there are also the people that watched it in groups, Chris.
That's true.
Some of us didn't watch it at all.
Amen.
When did we start tracking the AL home run record? That's annoying, right?
When it was Aaron Judge.
But it's so
And now they
annoying to be like,
established
oh,
this template.
Cal Raleigh's about to catch Aaron Judge for the AL home run. It's like, dude, what does that mean?
What's the
league's-
NL? What's the NL East record?
I know. And
It doesn't matter that we're playing interleague play season round now. That the AL records and the NL records are completely irrelevant. And
It
no one's
stopped
like,
being a
I'm an
thing.
American League baseball fan anymore. That's not a thing.
it stopped being a thing when the umpires started wearing just MLB hats.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Not
right.
Just call me Al hats.
Remember Al?
That's right.
Angels in the outfield.
I'm so happy. The greatest thing that Big Dumper did with this season is just rip away the facade of that whole Aaron Judge bullshit that we had to deal with a couple seasons ago.
You guys were so mad that
It was BS. And it was just because it was a Yankee. We all know now. The Emperor has no clothes, Dan.
So in 2012, Buster Posey's OPS was 957. Right now, Cal's is 959. His OPS plus is 172. Buster Posey's OPS plus was 171. And I think we all know what that means.
they're close to very comparable players in terms of what it is that they do.
Which is wild because one of them is hitting 60 home runs.
Dan, we're getting to the part where the baseball playoffs matter, right? And what I want to do is I'm locked in now. Yeah. We're right here. We're at the doorstep of the baseball playoffs. And I need to know, I need to get an update from the baseball guys to see kind of where we are so I know what to do going into the season. So, going into the postseason. So right now I have written down Mariners good catcher.
Yeah.
Tigers collapsed. What else do I need to know?
They still got a few days left. They may not fully collapsed.
Well,
Okay, so not fully.
they've already collapsed.
Not fully.
Now they might.
Is it still a collapse if they still win the division?
They might uncollapse, but as we speak of this, they've already collapsed.
The old collapse into an uncollapse.
I don't think you
I
can
put collapse,
uncollapse.
not fully.
You don't think that they can now win the division and therefore not have collapsed as historically as I imagine that collapse is going to be remembered?
Like Greg collapsed at Highlight, and then when he came back, we didn't say, "Well, good news, Greg uncollapsed." He
Maybe we
still
should've.
collapsed. Maybe.
Dan, do you remember Terry Kennedy, a 1980s catcher?
I don't know that
Four-time All-Star, played in 4 different World Series with 3 different teams. He was an FSU catcher.
Believe it or not, Giancarlo Stanton holds the record for single-season NL East home runs.
Just NL East now you're
Yeah.
doing?
I believe it.
59. Yeah.
I believe it.
It's a lot.
I remember that vividly.
But you mean
I'm gonna go through every division.
You're just going to do it by division? Who holds the divisional
can we guess?
lead in home run?
I like
NL
the,
Central, who you got?
I got Mark McGuire
Yep.
famously.
All right, you nailed it.
I got second place. It's probably either McGuire or Sosa.
All right, NL West. Damn it, Bonds. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be Bonds.
All right, keep playing though. AL West.
AL
Okay,
West,
we know
Cal
that.
Raleigh.
Yeah.
All right.
Cal Raleigh.
We're having fun here. AL Central.
AL Central. Now this one's tricky.
Frank
AL
Thomas?
Central. I would.
Thomas is a great guess.
Jim Tomlin.
Paul Konerko.
Jim Tomey's
No way.
a really
Terrible
good
guess.
one.
That's a good guess.
That's a terrible guess.
Who Jimmy Fox play for?
Oof. Jimmy Fox was
Cleveland?
Detroit, wasn't he?
Then there you go. That's him.
But they may not have been in the Central then.
I don't think they were in this. There wasn't Central back then.
Who'd Hank Greenberg play for?
There was
Hammer.
there was not a Central back then.
Fun game.
Jimmy Fox played for Philadelphia, Boston, and Chicago Cubs, so we didn't get any of that
All
right.
right. What about Hank Greenberg?
The Hammer.
Phillies are
The
good.
Hebrew Hammer.
It's a good nickname.
He played for Detroit. There you go. We got our AL Central
What
guy.
year did he play?
All his whole career.
What years were they?
The 30s.
Then there was no Central then.
Whatever, man.
When did they start the Central? When did that start? Because there were 2 divisions.
counts.
Like deep into the 90s, I think. Before they made it 3 divisions in each league.
Can
I
you-
think, right?
Chris, can you sort by career and not individual seasons? Because there are
Began in
players,
'94.
because there are players like Maglio Ordonez that played for multiple teams inside of the AL Central. This is where it gets fun, folks.
I want to talk about very briefly the uniforms that the Dolphins are going to be wearing on Monday night. Monday night is an apocalypse. The Dolphins and the Jets are playing Monday Night Football, and these uniforms are really good-looking uniforms. They're just not in any way Dolphin uniforms.
It's horrible. I'm embarrassed.
I can't believe how negative this office has been on these uniforms. I thought it was going to be a consensus. These look cool. And everybody around here hates these.
They may look cool, but they're not the Dolphins. Like, that's not the Dolphins' colors. That's not their uniform. But on top of it, you know what aggravates me, and maybe some other fans too, is there is a consensus out there of, I would guess to say, 100% of the fan base would like them to wear a specific uniform, and they refuse to go back to it.
Old school one.
And of course, and they're breaking this out. Like, that's not the Dolphins. Who is this team I'm going to be watching on Monday night?
I cannot blame the Dolphins for wanting to wear a disguise when the world is watching, so that no one knows who they are. Because this 0-3 football team, are you guys in agreement when I keep saying that this is a historically bad defense, or were you fooled by the second half against the Bills?
I think it's too early to tell.
Yeah.
Early in the season, how much worse would you have liked them to be than not to be able to stop any of the drives of the Colts and the Patriots?
I think the part that's so surprising with this defense, I think one thing most of us would have agreed upon going into the season was they're going to be able to rush the passer. They got some guys who are going to be able to get after the quarterback, and maybe that'll be the one saving grace to having a terrible secondary is, all right, if you put pressure on the quarterback, that'll be okay then. Not only do they not get after the quarterback, but they blitz like the most of any team in the league through the first 3 weeks, and they still don't get to the quarterback.
Well, explain to me why, okay, you guys are surprised by a lack of pressure when I say the following, because Chubb's getting to the quarterback, but Phillips, you would understand why it is that his body is not right and he might not be the same player he was. And Christian Wilkins was kind of important to them, and he was important to Sealer. Like, what they had coming up the middle when they were getting pressure and on the edges, we can agree that Wilkins was a very good player for them. Wilkins is missed in a lot of ways, so you're surprised when I tell you Phillips's body is broken.
Were you not, excuse me, encouraged by his performance against Buffalo, though? Because I think prior to, he looked like, man, have all the injuries. Keep in mind, Jalen Phillips is a player that almost medically retired before he transferred to Miami. And his body has taken a lot of
the University of Miami, not the Dolphins.
Yeah. And I thought it was an encouraging performance against Buffalo. He's starting to get home a little bit more, and that's a type of injury that, I mean, we've seen over time. You kind of need some time to bounce back.
Wilkins is missed.
He's out there. I mean, he was released. They could go get him if they want to. He's recovering from injury. He's available.
I think that this is going to be a historically bad defense. I think they're going to have trouble stopping everybody all season.
Well, let them mesh. I mean, we'll see on Monday Night Football against the Jets, and then they have the Panthers, so he could be fooled about how good they are or not. Then we'll get a test, when they take on the Chargers, the Browns, and then the Falcons.
That's the test, the Charger game?
We'll see. No, with the Falcons, I wonder who's going to be quarterback at that point in time, right? Then after that, we have Ravens, Bills, Commanders. That's a difficult stretch. By the time the Saints come to town, November 30th, mark your calendars. We're going to know who this defense is.
Can you have two historically bad defenses in a span of 6 years? Because wasn't Dominique saying that it was criminal what they were doing like 6 years ago? So now you have
unethical, not
unethical.
criminal.
My bad.
That's
unethical.
Yes, it is possible.
Now another 6 years later, you have another historically bad defense.
That's like when they say someone's a generational talent, and there's 8 of those playing every
Same
year
generation,
at the same generation, which makes no sense to me.
I think to be a historically bad defense, you need to be the worst defense in the league, which they are not. They are 26th in the league right now. If you wanted to say the Ravens have a historically bad defense, you would presently be right.
I don't think you can ever say the Ravens have a historically bad defense.
Teams with a worse defense than the Miami Dolphins, according to yards per game: Ravens, Giants, Cowboys, Bears, Steelers, Titans.
Don't pay attention to stats. You can just never say the Ravens have a bad defense.
Give the Dolphins time. They'll catch up. Let me just go back, since we were talking baseball. And again, pitch clock will be later in the show as we continue to segregate baseball. But this is an exciting time of year for me. I really do enjoy baseball. But when you talk about what's happening with the Tigers, look at this when I give you these stats. The Tigers have lost 8 in a row, 11 of 12, and 20 of 27. While the Guardians have won 17 of 19. So that's how that happened.
So Guardians good? Do I write that down?
Guardians good.
Okay.
Guardians also hot at the right time.
Guardians hot at the right time. Okay.
Jim Thome, 52 home runs, 2002. Yeah, that's the leader since 1994, since the AL Central was officially established. But you want to talk about the Guardians and this collapse by the Tigers? So on August 25th, Fangraphs had the Guardians as a 0.0 chance to win the AL Central. On September 10th, it's only the 25th. On September 10th, they had a 0.1% chance to win the AL Central. Now they are in sole possession of first place and own the tiebreaker over the Tigers.
Who are the Guardians?
Also, Paul Konerko's career high was 41 in a season.
That's good.
Frank Thomas, 43. So it's a big difference.
You can't come at me and say it's a terrible guess when he was 2 behind
43.
the big hurt.
No, it's not 43.
That's not terrible. That's actually really good.
It's Jim Thome, Albert Belle, Jim Thome, Albert Belle, and then Salvador Perez.
Albert Belle. Every time you say Albert Belle, it brings a smile to my face, even though Albert Belle was a total menace as a human being who scared everybody around him. See if you guys can find on YouTube for me Albert Belle being hit by a pitch and just refusing to go to first base, saying, "No, I want to hit. I don't want first base. I want all of the bases." No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. But he also, somebody was mad at him because he was keeping the clubhouse too cold, and he just destroyed the thermometer with his bat, or he just that was on the wall.
He had 3 homers in the game already, which is why he didn't want to go to first. He was looking to hit a 4th home run that day, and so when he was hit by a pitch, he said, "Nah, I'm good."
The first thing you think about with Albert Belle is when he threw the forearm shiver at the second baseman trying to attempt a double play, right?
He's the only player in baseball. Like, there's been some sizable guys. You don't want to fight Mo Vaughn if he was coming out to the mound to fight with you. But he's the only guy in my career as a baseball player that I knew that everyone else was just afraid of him. They were afraid that he was going to beat them up. He also had a temper problem. Like, he had a bunch of incidents, including, like, didn't he chase some kids with his car on Halloween? Like, he had a
temper problem, huh?
Yes.
like Jeepers Creepers.
What do you think those kids were dressed as?
I'm pretty sure that he has a long litany of things on the resume that suggest that, temper. Needed to get it under control, had some issues with that. But I just don't think of baseball players as being so menacing that you're afraid of them. Even Aaron Judge. You look at Aaron Judge.
No, he seems nice, Aaron Judge.
Can you give me some information about Aaron Judge being, about where it is that Aaron Judge was drafted? Because generally players that size, their strike zone is too big for them to be hitting 50 home runs all the time. Because no matter how long their levers are, that size of a strike zone is too big of a strike zone for somebody to be as good as Aaron Judge is. Where was he drafted, Jeremy?
He was drafted 32nd overall. So he was a first-round pick, but there were 31 players who went ahead of him. Ironically, that year, number 1 overall, Bryce Harper, number 3, Manny Machado. So heck of a draft.
On Halloween in 1995, a bunch of teenagers decided to egg Albert Belle's house. So he decided, I'm going to chase them down with my car. Belle was fined $100 for reckless operation of a vehicle. The guardian of the teenager later sued Albert Belle for $850,000, contending that Belle's car had bumped into the teenager. The lawsuit was settled in 1997.
I was wrong about that draft. He was drafted in the 31st round out of high school in 2010. Then he was drafted 32nd overall in 2013. That draft was led by Mark Appel and then Chris Bryant.
You didn't need to correct yourself. You were right.
Billy, would you do me the favor, please, of just looking through all Albert Belle incidents? Because I think
it's not as fun if you continue.
Really?
You're not going to like where this goes.
2006, he was sentenced to 90 days in jail and 5 years probation after he admitted to stalking his former girlfriend. 2018, he was charged with indecent exposure and driving under the influence. Charges were dismissed.
Marlins took Colin Moran, 6th overall the year Aaron Judge
I want
went
the
32nd.
incidents while he was playing baseball.
Oh, I thought you meant the legal
afterward.
troubles.
No,
Sounds like a nice guy otherwise.
That's not. No, I wanted the ones
Misunderstood, maybe?
from his playing career. I pretty much understood just where he was coming from at all times, and it was just rage.
So under the personal problems section, because that starts with alcoholism. That's not good either.
No, I'm just looking for stuff during the playing career, just stories that were told. I've told you guys before the story, like baseball clubhouses are funny, right? The Pirates had a second baseman, Jose Lind, who one time, for reasons that I didn't have any understanding for, I'm just standing there, and he throws a hunting knife across the room and embeds it in the wall. And I'm like, why would someone do that? That doesn't seem sane or reasonable in any way. And the one who was feared by all other players was only Albert Belle. There's no close second on someone that was feared by everybody long before. Like, if that player played today, we would have him go get treatment because all of us would understand that what's happening there is not sane. But he could hit a baseball very hard and very far and would hit 3 home runs in a game and then get hit by a pitch and say, I don't want to go.
How many
to first
throws
base.
would it take you to throw a knife at a wall and get it to stick?
A hunting knife, those are sharp.
You're
And
doing
get
it
it to
first try?
stick?
You're doing it first try, Tony?
Yeah, I'm doing it first round.
Of course.
Chris,
I don't know, man.
you feel like the handle's gonna just hit the wall and
I'm
then
just like,
You got to throw a blade. You don't throw it by the handle. You throw it by the
hold
blade
blade
first. Yeah, you throw it by the blade.
No, that can't be.
That's how you do it. You throw it by the blade first, so it has the rotation.
Yeah, but when you throw an axe, you don't hold the axe by the
Right?
blade.
Like, what are you talking?
It's different though.
I think he might be right, though.
Really?
Yeah,
I
sure.
think. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. In order to embed a hunting knife in the wall, do you throw it by the blade?
Well, hold on a second, though. Like, explain that
It's like
to
a
me.
star.
The
Like,
axe
I'm
is
picturing
different. The axe is
But
different. The axe has
explain-
the handle. There's more surface
Tony,
area.
Okay.
There's more surface area on the blade of a knife than there is an axe.
Okay,
and a
but
handle.
Where are you getting this knowledge from?
I don't.
It depends the size of the
I
knife.
think he's
also.
right. I
No,
think he's right.
because you
What if
believe
you're
what he
doing it
says
in a
because he just says
hurry?
it with confidence.
What
Dan,
if
this is a
you have
a-
to do it in a hurry.
this
You're
is a
gonna
Kansas
lose
City
blade
Chiefs
first
situation.
side? That's very
The
dangerous.
rotations matter. What if I throw from 3 inches further back? Then that would be like half a rotation, and then the blade, the
But
handle
you
would
can
hit.
fix that by throwing it faster.
Well, and this is very important. Do you throw the blade overhand, or is it like you take it on?
Who does that?
Underhand
Oh,
is
I can do it. I can do that.
You don't have the
that.
same juice underhand. You got to go overhand.
That's how you get
with
cut.
juice.
I'll decide how much juice I have.
Underhand.
Yeah, underhand's weak.
No, you can do underhand.
You'll know about that, Dan. You know
Jenny
about that
Finch, what are we
underhand.
doing
I
here?
do like
weak
kind
sauce.
of like gambit.
That's how you get him.
Yeah.
Oh, yours is sideways.
Yeah, like gambit.
You put your arm up. I don't see what you're doing.
No one throws a knife like a frisbee. That's
Yeah, you can't.
I'm still
diabolical.
throwing
Yeah,
my
you can't
blade.
do that.
Not like a frisbee, like gambit throws
That's
playing
like
cards.
a frisbee. What are you throwing?
Nah,
A boomerang?
You're not getting anyone
I could
like
also.
that.
I could
That's
also
what I'm
do it
saying.
Like
Zaz knows.
Like Alex Gonzalez.
I've already
turning
stabbed you in the heart.
Hell
Alex
yeah.
Gonzalez turning 2.
Well, if you throw it, did you stab him?
I got lots of blades in my pocket.
You guys are not noticing. Everyone's talking, and no one's noticing that Zaz is providing a sound effect with his underhand blade throw that kills you while you're talking. You're giving opinions, and he's going left-handed. You're not expecting it in any way.
And I'm a righty.
Everyone else is coming at you overhanded. They're telegraphing what they're doing. He's doing it sneaky style.
But he keeps missing us. That's the
Are
problem.
we doing this in a competition, or are we doing this like, oh, it's real life? You need to throw something in the street. You're not going blade first. Too dangerous if you have to do something quickly like that. You'll cut your hand.
Not
open.
if you're an accomplished hunting knife thrower.
That's the thing.
Like Tony.
Plus, what you do is on the street, you grab it, and then you toss it up, and then catch it on the blade.
Wait, you're putting on a show?
No,
Right,
that
no.
part we agree with.
Right?
Yeah.
So you have
You
it.
have to-
You have it in your thing. What?
That the swoop is important.
You guys are all coming at Zaz, though. You're telegraphing what you're doing. You got your arms out. You got your blades out.
So many blades I threw you.
You do it too quick, though. I imagine you like reach in, it's wrong
You're right, it
pocket,
is too
and
quick.
boom, you threw your keys at me.
Too quick
Exactly
for you to
right.
notice it's coming.
That's a ninja star technique, not a blades. Yeah.
Your hair.
Yeah.
Greg Cody's Back in My Day, featuring in-flight magazines.
In-flight magazines. Slayed the pandemic. Traveling again. Big bird up. But something's different. I look in the seat pocket in front of me, and all I see is that cardboard pamphlet about the plane that nobody reads, the drink menu nobody needs, and the barf bag. Where's my in-flight magazine? Where did it go? Joni was right. Don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. They paved paradise, put up a parking lot, and then stole my in-flight magazine. These staples of Americana predated even Greg Cody. Pan Am Airways published the first IFM in 1940. Now the high-flying mags are disappearing like donuts in a press box. Southwest Rag, augustly called simply The Magazine, is gone now. Delta Sky, gone. American Way, gone. Retired after 55 years. Alaska and Emirates Airlines, too, gone. Airline magazines falling from the sky one by one. Some others, like United Hemispheres, are now digital only. Blame the pandemic. COVID killed the in-flight magazine, or rather gave airlines an excuse to make a cutback like businesses did with remote meetings where the office buildings used to be. But more than that is to blame. The digital era stampeded the helpless handheld mag. In-flight entertainment and mobile browsing happened. Airlines have even claimed noble reasons for discontinuing their magazines, like how removing all of them makes planes lighter, which saves on fuel. Sounds like malarkey. Hurtling cabins once were full of rattling newspaper pages held wide. Then those disappeared. And then I was the last flyer still leafing through an in-flight magazine while everybody else was softly chuckling at a movie or listening to music with earbuds. I miss every bit of the airline magazine, the greeting from the airline president, the Penn and Teller at the Rio ad, the dating and hair restoration ads, and the one inviting me to invest in a home care franchise, things to do in Minneapolis, the list of top 10 steakhouses and America's best plastic surgeons, the crossword puzzle inevitably half-finished and poorly by a previous seat occupant. Oh, and the feature story on Southwest Customer Service Agent of the Month. You can't get that anywhere else. Most of all, I miss, anybody else remember Sky Mall? Oh, my gosh. It was Amazon before Amazon, only at 30,000 feet. Talk about built-in marketing. Bored flyers stuck in a cabin for 3 hours slamming cocktails are liable to buy anything, which Sky Mall offered. I'll never forget the time, after 3 or 4 deep eddies, I accidentally bought a life-size Bigfoot garden gnome for $2,250. Airlines, I will gladly pay extra if the bag I check is a pound too heavy. I'll put up with your cancellations and with a hot meal being replaced by a 1-ounce bag of pretzels. Just please give me back my in-flight magazine. See, I never played that Sudoku puzzle, but I sure did like knowing it was there. I'm Greg Cody, and that's how it was back in my day.
The game has changed. Weed is legal now with Stugotz and Greg Cody.
I'll tell a story if it makes you feel better.
Yeah.
When I first took the first edible I ever took was in New York, and at the time I was breaking the law. Okay, so now you can feel good about telling your story. And the guy told me, "Hey, just eat half of this." And so I ate half, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I didn't feel anything. And he begged me just to eat half. And he did say on the front end it might take a while. But I was impatient.
Right.
Because when you smoke marijuana, you get instant gratification. And waiting an hour or two for something to kick in was not something I was familiar with.
Right.
So I ate another half, which became a full cookie. And 60 minutes later, I don't remember anything. I woke up the next morning on the floor in my wife's uncle's apartment because Abby had to throw me into a cab with her, and she took me home. And I was curled up in the fetal position, and I don't remember a thing after the second half of that cookie.
Wow.
This was last Wednesday. So, with that being said, feel free to share your story of you having 4 cookies in Colorado.
Yeah, I wolfed them down. It was 3 or 4. I didn't know
3
how.
or 4?
Yeah,
You don't ask? You don't say, "Hey, person I'm purchasing this from, how fast should I do these?"
The guy at the thing, and it was one of those official things where they dress like pharmacists in there, and they sold me a vial of edible cookies, and it was in Colorado, so it's 100% legal. And my wife and I are getting ready to go to dinner. We popped open the thing. She had a nibble of one, and I ate, I think, probably 2 or 3, and it hit me by the time we got to that restaurant.
I just love how terrified you are of this conversation. You keep throwing in there like it's perfectly legal what I did.
To be fair to Greg, this has not exactly been, the most up and up thing to talk about for 60 years of his life.
Right, exactly.
This is a fairly recent phenomenon. We just go, "Oh yeah, everything's fine now."
No, and I don't, we did that because we were vacationing in Colorado, and I wanted to
Stop giving qualifiers.
I have to give a qualifier.
Greg, more qualifiers.
It feels better when you're doing it legally.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
We will get to Roz Gold on Woo Day in a second. She's the host of Good Follow. You should follow, listen, and subscribe to Good Follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Did you guys get an answer? I think Tony's right. I don't like saying it. I'm sorry to be saying it, but I do think you throw a hunting knife by the blade. Roz, do you have any opinions on this? Do you know how you throw a hunting knife? If you wanted to make sure to embed it in the wall across from you, how would you throw a hunting knife?
It comes from the stomach. It's a gut thing.
I need you to elaborate, and I need you to explain.
What do you mean by that?
Dealer's choice.
You're going with a stabbing. You're doing a stabbing.
She's throwing it straight from the stomach.
I want to embed it in a wall across from me. How do I throw it? How do I hold it? What's the correct
point for the gambit technique?
It's like breathing. You got to breathe out of the stomach, and it's like most athletic motions come out of the knees. And then
I don't
I'm
understand.
following that guy. She's walking us through the whole process.
It's like breathing, Dan. It's like breathing.
Roz is right.
I'm bringing it to life. Look.
It's not coming from the core.
You got to breathe.
You don't throw a hunting
from the
knife
arm.
No,
from
it's
the
the
core.
process starts there.
From the core and the knees. Don't forget to keep your knees bent.
Yeah.
This is a strength and conditioning coach would tell you that.
Nice solid base.
Check with YouTube, Jeremy, and get back to me.
Oh, I have. I'm a master now. I've watched 2 YouTube videos, and I know exactly how this is done. So
Go on.
You want to
also,
be
Lewis confirmed that Tony's right. That
so
you hold the blade.
according to 2 masters of the internet on YouTube, you want to be throwing this from the handle. So if you have an actual throwing knife, you want to be throwing from the handle. It's balanced in weight. So for every step you take away, that's about 1 rotation toward where you want to be. So you get 4 rotations if you're 4 steps away from that
here's
target.
the issue.
But what you want to make
Here's the
sure of,
issue.
Tony, what you
Tony
want to make sure
already
of is when
started
you
wrong.
release it. When you release
Go ahead,
it, you want to
finish,
be
Jeremy.
just in front of your face, but you don't want to flick your wrist because that could throw everything off. So you just want to release it from right here. You just want to release it like right there.
I'm going to
Release
tell
it
you
right
where
there.
Jeremy's
No
already
flick
wrong.
of the wrist.
No flick of the
No
wrist.
Uncle
That's
Charlie.
wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm going to
telling
tell you where Jeremy's wrong already. He said throwing knife. I don't care about throwing
No,
knife.
so
That's
you
a
have
totally different thing.
So if you have
I'm
a
talking
knife-
about a hunting
Say you have a
knife.
kitchen knife or a hunting knife where
No.
it's not
Did
totally
you watch a hunting
balanced.
knife YouTube
Any
video?
knife
I watched
can
a YouTube
become a
video
throwing
for
knife.
any type
Rainbow
of knife.
knife.
What you want to make sure that you do is you lower your hand on that handle.
I actually also needed further clarity on what kind of knife it was. Me too.
Yeah,
that
good.
was an issue.
No
for me.
butter knife.
I wasn't clear.
I don't know the difference between a hunting knife and a throwing knife. What is it? A magician that pops
It's basically
balloons
like a
near
magician,
someone?
yes.
One knife is the one that you kind of. No.
Any knife becomes a throwing knife once you've thrown it.
That is an
That's a
excellent
good point.
I send a message when I'm throwing a knife. It's the Rambo knife.
It's too long.
What about throwing stars? That's only blade, so you
Or
don't really have an
stones.
option.
I mean, there's only one technique there. It's like, well, 2. Overhand and then.
So when did we? So they're ninja. What are they called? Ninja stars?
no, Dan,
No, Dan.
apologize.
I didn't say they were Chinese stars. I said they were
Whoa.
ninja stars.
they're
He's right. No,
relax.
you're right about that.
Guys,
You're right.
They're Guardian stars.
What?
Roz, I don't understand what happened to your beloved Liberty. They sent you a ring and then immediately started losing in the playoffs and firing coaches.
Oh my gosh, that's right, guys. I got a ring. Remember we had all the ring talk. Oh, I should show you it. I have it with me. But anyway.
Let's see it. Where is it?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, go ahead and get it. We'll wait for you. We've got.
Just kidding. I don't have it. I think I left it in
Someone
in my
snatched
home in
it from
LA
your
where it
chain,
should
probably.
be. I have great gratitude to Sandy Brondello. She was part of bringing that championship to New York. I was so fortunate to get that ring, partly in huge part for her efforts. Did you guys think it was a short leash, like after just winning the championship?
Well, was there any indication that this was going to happen? I felt like there was legitimate
Well, remember,
shock.
Dan, at the press conference a few days ago, sitting next to the former coach, Breanna Stewart was asked by a reporter, do you think your coach should
Yes.
keep her job?
Yeah, and Stewie kind of was like, what the F? And look, first and foremost, respect to Sandy Brondello, gratitude, thank you, flowers. She also had a lot of adversity that was outside of her control this season. There were so many injuries to Liberty starters throughout the season. They barely had practice. They barely had continuity. So I think it was surprising. And I do think, though, that if you were looking for reasons why the Liberty might have done this, given the amount of talent that they still had throughout the season, there were just a number of games where they had head-scratching losses, where a lot of games where they had urgency issues, effort issues. They talked about it. The coach talked about it. The players talked about it. And you saw it happening over and over. They got beat down a couple times at Barclays. There were significant wins they couldn't come up with. And I think, maybe an executive staff is looking at that and thinking, is the team prepared? And are they squeezing out as much as they can of the potential of this team, given the talent that they have? And you look at some other teams, they've had injuries too. They've had lesser rosters and perhaps have had I'm not even going to say I'm not even going to, I think it's fair to say, have had more inspiring seasons than the Liberty did. And maybe just they're saying first round exit is not the standard. I think it's surprising, but this happens all the time in sports. You might think good coach, but maybe they're thinking this isn't the coach that takes us to the next level.
Oh, but I'm not sure it happens all the time. Jeremy, can you please look up for me coaches that have been fired so soon after winning a championship? Ooh. I'm sure there's a list of them, but usually you get more grace if you've won one championship, that you're not fired the next postseason. That's not a normal thing. Yep, we lost her.
100%. To clarify that, I thought you guys got me.
Yep,
you're good.
Okay, so I guess to clarify that, it would be that in the NBA, we've seen a number of coaches who could be a season removed, if that, from Coach of the Year, and they've been let go or they haven't been renewed. But I do think winning the championship the season before, in the history of the franchise, in the history of the WNBA, it was the first ever championship. It took 28 years to get there. The Liberty had gotten close, but did not get over the hump. And to get that, and then 2 years in a row, she made the finals. Missed the championship the first year. Second year, comes back, wins it. This year, falls short in the first round. But, one could say there was a lot of adversity. So it was surprising. New York, but what it says is, New York is upping the ante. That they... It really puts a lot of pressure on them too to get this right. But I think that New York Liberty job is a cushy job. They could pick, it could be anybody who comes in there. Men's coach, women's coach.
I should make the correction. It's not something I see happen often in America. It is something that happens internationally in soccer quite a bit. But Jeremy will find for us the short leashes that we've ever seen from champions in sports.
A couple of examples: Larry Brown with the Detroit Pistons. They were already fed up with Larry Brown before.
He was only coaching for 2 years.
They went to the championship, and then he ended up with the Knicks soon after. You got Mike Budenholzer, who only got 2 more seasons with the Bucks after winning a championship. Obviously, Mike Malone, who we mentioned. And then in college football, Gene Chizik won a national championship at Auburn, and then after 2 more seasons, at the end of the second season, they lose 49-0 to Alabama in a bowl game, and he's gone.
So you guys, though, the examples you gave me were 2 seasons.
Yeah, there's not a lot of next season.
You're talking about months here. You're talking about she wins the championship, and months later is fired. It didn't even last a full year after that because they were knocked out in the first round. That is a bit crazy. Becky Hammond says the physicality in the playoffs is out of control. Do you agree with that?
I say let them play, let's get it. But it is more physical than usual in the WNBA this season. We're hearing that more and more from the players and the coaches. And I think overall there's been critique of reffing, consistency in the WNBA this season. And also refs keeping control of games. There's been so many skirmishes. Remember that Indiana Fever Connecticut Sun game where the girls, Sophie Cunningham's dragging JC Sheldon down the court? Reffing, more consistent reffing could have, nipped that in the bud earlier. So I just think we're hearing a lot about physicality, but more what I'm hearing about is consistency overall. Speaking of physical, it's the Phoenix Mercury who bring the pain in these playoffs. And that's what they did against the Lynx to come back down 20 and get the win and split the series 1-1 against the top team in the league here by playing bully ball, being physical and tough.
Do I have it wrong when I say that Asia Wilson is obviously, without question, 4-time MVP, the best player in the league, and you can make an argument best player in league history when you got 4 MVPs given the quality of play right now? Do I have it wrong when I say, though, there are a lot of people who transcend the sport and get into pop culture more than her, that her excellence does not merit the stardom. She has not gotten the stardom she deserves given how much better she is than everyone else?
Well, I'll start with the first part of that. I think that's a really good question. The first part is Asia's on the way to a resume that will put her as the greatest of all time if you just talk about being decorated. This is a 4-time MVP, I think 3-time defensive player of the year. She's multiple-time WNBA champion. She's a college champion. She's Olympic gold medalist. She's an all-star all these times. She's won every award you can really get. And there's also the eye test. She's wildly dominant. You know how you just watch some guys and you're like, nobody can stop this person. Like Asia's impact on both ends, her motor, the way she moves, her skill on top of her athleticism and speed. There's not much like that elsewhere in the WNBA. Like there's no woman moving like that. So right now, you can argue she's the best player of this generation for sure. Right now, given her resume, does her notoriety match that? I think Asia's a star. Like she's got all the things right now. You know, she's got her family, she's got her man, Bam Adebayo, she's got her signature sneaker, she's got a statue, she's got her candle, she's got a book. You know, she's out there. I think I am the target audience, so I'm in an echo chamber. I feel like I hear about Asia, but I do think like transcending, she's not as, when you look at the list of biggest social media followings, Asia's not in the top 5, I don't believe. I know she's in the top 10, but oftentimes you'll see like the biggest stars in the world often have the biggest followings. Right now, that's being reserved for Angel Reese, by far has the biggest social media following of WNBA players. After that, it's Caitlin Clark. Then it's Paige Becker. So it's this new generation of girls. I think Sabrina Ionescu's right there. Skylar Diggins, they're around like 1 million something. And your Paiges and your Caitlins are around like closer to 3 million or 2.5 or 3. And Angel's up around 5 million. So no, being the best is not correlating with being the most recognized yet. And, you know, I think there could be more commotion for Asia Wilson. I really do. I think she's a star personality on top of being a star hooper.
No, I think you're right. I just am not sure that she goes top. That if I said to people outside of the WNBA, give me the top 5 stars in the NBA, five names, give me 5 that you love.
They'd say Asia. They'd say Asia. People know Asia. Am I wrong about that, guys? Do you feel like you would be able to say Asia Wilson's name?
I do, but I'm not sure that we've been following her from college the way. I mean, the fact that you're saying Angel Reese, when the reason for Angel Reese's fame, even though she's great, is not team success, and it's not necessarily individual success. It has almost nothing to do with merit.
She's polarizing. That's why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's part of it.
Angel has transcended culture in a way that I don't think any player in the WNBA has. Even Caitlin Clark. But I actually just pulled it up. Boardroom posts a lot of cool lists. And they have one of the most followed WNBA players. And it's Angel Reese at 5.1, Caitlin Clark 3.6 million, Paige Becker's 2.9, Sabrina Ionescu 1.5, Cameron Brink 1.4. Then it's Asia Wilson. So she's tied for 5 at 1.4. Sophie Cunningham, the best thing that ever happened to her was going to the Indiana Fever. She skyrocketed to 1.3 million. Haley Van Lith. So this is clearly, you know, not about being the best in the world. Haley Van Lith is a rookie who struggled for minutes this year with Chicago, 1.3 million. Kelsey Plum, 1.2, and then Skylar Diggins and Jewel Lloyd tied for around 1 million. So that's the top 10 list according to Boardroom and popularity of WNBA players. But I also think this is part of being a woman. Like, I also think there are so many things that make women dynamic and like can make you interesting or command attention or, you know, make you compelling, you know, being a mother, look at the stud buds. It's certainly not always about who's the hottest. It's also sometimes about who's the coolest, who's the funniest, who's the most intriguing. And like stud buds are skyrocketing in attention. The 2 girls with the pink hair, they're doing Vogue. And I think that's very important because we don't often see 2 Black, masculine, stud lesbians being centered in pop culture. So that's why the WNBA is so like important, just the diversity of women that can shine.
Roz, what do we make of what's going on with Angel Reese in Chicago right now? She gets suspended with a few games remaining in the season. She doesn't play the final few games after that. I understand she was dealing with an injury too, and the team was, you know, one of the worst teams in the league. But she comes out, she says a lot of things in that article, a lot of things which, by the way, she's probably right about, but she's only been in the league for 2 years. The team's been terrible both those years. If an NBA player after 2 seasons on 2 terrible teams, is talking about possibly having to do what's best for them in their future and maybe asking out at some point, like, we'd kind of be greeting that with a side eye.
Suspended for conduct detrimental for things she said about her team.
For a half game at that. Jan, in your experience, is a half game suspension interesting or unique or weird?
I don't understand some of the punishments. I don't understand a $200 fine for Caitlin Clark, and I don't understand a half game suspension.
Did she target someone in college football? A Maury Porter situation?
The WNBA. Sometimes the WNBA is so funny. And Caitlin Clark, you know what? She is so funny to me, not to everybody. She's one of those people that I think, like, if you are supporting her team, you might find her funny. If you're on the other team, you might find her annoying. But like, you know, her doing, you know, after the league fined her for $200 for, you know, rowdiness on the bench, and for her to post that publicly and almost like scoff, like $200, like, baby, I'm a multimillionaire. I have a $30 million Nike deal. I have to laugh because I'm like, Caitlin knows who she is. You know, like, Caitlin ain't afraid of this. Like, Caitlin knows her power. She knows her stick. She's, you know, I like personalities. I like that. I like everything that Angel is. I love that Angel is just fabulous, handling her business on and off the court, a mogul. I love that Caitlin's, you know, kind of funny, kind of jerky, kind of will stick it to you. Like, I'm here for it, you know, but that's why I like the WNBA, because there's so many cool stories and personalities, you know? Think about, like, even the love stories. Like, only in the WNBA does your partner get to bring out your MVP award. Like, how cute was that for Asia when Bam did that? Yep. You know?
Yep.
You didn't think it was cute?
I did. I said yep a couple of times. You didn't hear me because you were too busy talking about how cute it was.
Well, yep was just, you know, yep. Come on, just be excited.
All
Kind
right.
of like
It was a really
Zaslow.
cool moment. He was excited. We just found out you throw the knife by the blade.
That's my enthusiasm. I'm a famously repressed person. That was a volcano of emotion from me.
Let's see your form, Billy.
I love how we found one internet video where a guy's holding the blade and we're like, it solved it.
Well, no, that's Cincinnati Lou. That's a fan of the show who's out here sending us a video proof in real time. Here's how you do it. You hold it by the blade, you throw it. You know what? I'm convinced. I was wrong. I thought I was an expert after 2 YouTube
Wait,
videos.
just because he did it,
That's big of
this
you.
is right?
Yeah, that's big of you to prove that you're wrong.
Tony, go for it.
So you get it here, right? Obviously, you have it here. What you got to do is you grab it up. Whoof.
Where's here?
Whoa.
Wow.
Dan, you know what's the biggest reason that you throw the blade by the blade and not the handle? Aerodynamics.
I thought it was the weight of the handle allows it to spin in a way because the blade weighs less than the handle.
Aerodynamics.
I thought it was physics.
None
I
of
didn't
the
think it
knife
was
stuck so
aerodynamic.
far, though. Like,
yeah, there
you
wasn't a
threw it,
lot
it
of
didn't
good.
Again, this is a plastic knife, so it's tough to, like.
Do we have any cream cheese?
When you have it here, you get it ready, right? If you're really in a pinch, you can kind of do one of these where you're sideways.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Pinch am I in?
All right. This is
Why
really
am I in a
dangerous.
pinch?
One more here. Dan.
Wait,
You're throwing too low.
Go ahead,
Stop
Ross.
throwing this.
wait. Is that a pen or that's a pen?
It's a
right?
plastic knife.
It's a plastic
That's
knife.
not a knife. This is a knife.
In case you're in a pinch.
In case you're in a pinch, you got to do it quick. Shoo.
Okay. All right.
Wait, that's a scissor.
Whoa!
Yes.
All right, Mike, this is getting too ridiculous.
Wait a second.
I do like the French method, which is more like a.
You're fencing.
If you've ever seen Rob Roy.
My name is Anil Montoya.
He wasn't French. He was Spanish.
You guys look very experienced with these knives.
I am.
There,
I don't think
Many people tell me this.
I don't think she's being sincere.
She is the host of Good Follow. You can follow, listen, and subscribe to Good Follow on Instagram,
No, don't do it to
TikTok,
Pat.
and YouTube.
Chris, get out of the way.
Do not throw that knife at Pat
throw a
Riley.
sharp knife at Pat Riley. Do not do that.
Don't do it.
That's disrespectful.
Do not do this.
Do not do that. Roz is a big music fan. Mike is our resident music person around here. What do we feel, Mike, about the Coachella lineup? How are you feeling about that?
Well, Dan, the Coachella lineup is very confusing to me because, like, if you look, like, the small font acts, really good. You got the Strokes, a 9 Inch Nails project, Disclosure, Clips, Turnstile, Interpol, Iggy Pop, David Byrne, Devo, Foster the People, Young Thug. That's an amazing lineup. That's like pound for pound one of the greatest. But then the headliners are Sabrina Carpenter, Justin Bieber, and Karol G. It doesn't make any sense.
Roz, any thoughts here?
I like the Justin Bieber. I thought he had an unexpectedly strong album release, big hit song. I'm rooting for him. He's got a baby. I think he's got a baby on the way. Like,
I'm in on
the
Biebs.
Justin Bieber headliner. I'm in on Biebs.
I did like Bieber's
Okay,
last
so for
album,
me,
but weird. It's weird with like all the other acts that I listed. I mean, this is like a turn of the century alt rock paradise.
Giveon, Cascade, woo, Major Lazer.
They're absolute
FKA
legends in the
Twigs.
EDM stuff. Absolute legends. Armin van
Sundays,
Buren.
Absolutely, the Sunday tent's gonna be crazy, and I mean, I haven't been able to go as much lately, but for a while there, I went like 7 years straight to Coachella with my friends. We used to like get a big old house. It was like all the kids out of Stanford. We drive over, and when we were coming from LA, we would drive over and get a house and just explore new music artists. Hang by the pool.
Throw some knives.
Do it over the next day. Throw some knives. It's a great knife throwing day. You know, I love it. But I do think this Coachella lineup is a good bounce back. Oh, the XX. I just saw that. Disclosure. Yes. Here
Steve
for
Martin
it.
also.
Roz, good seeing you. Thank you for being with us. We will talk to you soon. I was very disappointed by your lie about the ring. I don't know if you've worn it out yet. I don't know where it is. I don't know where you're displaying it. I was hoping that you would show Zaz what a real ring looks like. You got a.
Show me. I got two.
Evidence. I have picture evidence on Instagram, guys. I had to secure it in my safe in my home. It's quite beautiful.
Was a toddler just killed? I saw the reactions in that room of a knife.
No,
being
it's stuck
thrown.
in Chris's leg now.
Okay, something bad just
Mike
happened there.
threw a knife at Pat Riley.
Why didn't you guys let me do this? Hey, I've never done
It
this
didn't
before.
stick though, Dan. You know why?
Try it
He threw
again.
it by the
Hit him in the
handle.
hand. All right, move.
Dan, you are crazy. This is a liability.
He can't throw it by the handle.
Right in the groin.
Roz, good seeing you. Thank you for being with us. Things have gotten a bit out of control here. I'm worried that
Definitely hit him in the dick.
there are so many knives being thrown. I think it was a bit pathetic.
right there. Look at that.
To be throwing plastic knives, but I also have great remorse about allowing actual knives to be thrown in the establishment.
I'm more of a
At
scissors
Pat
guy.
Riley.
Wait, hold on. We're
Yeah, 'cause he's
doing.
gotta get out of the way.
We're
All
doing
right.
something, Billy. We can't.
Yeah,
now you're just
everybody
throwing
for real.
scissors.
Sounds gonna stick you, but give it some.
Yeah, all right.
I told him to give us some
Don't
juice.
do this to Pat Riley. Oh my God! What are you
Dick
doing?
again!
What are you
Throw it by the
doing?
blade.
Stop.
Throw it by the blade. Dan,
No, please
All right,
stop.
Dan,
hit him in
I don't
the
wanna do
dick
this, Dan.
twice. Look, there's 2 marks. I don't know why I keep getting them there.
This is dangerous.
You can stop doing that at any point.
Someone should stop this.
Yes.
Someone should stop this.
Let's. You mentioned that. Let's stop it right now. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to get to Ray Hudson. I'd like some people to produce our show, please. Get toward the microphones. Get toward the places where you can help me do a show. Stop being children.
Is the problem because it's Pat Riley? Because we can make a Richard Gere.
Please allow me to.
No,
do
that's actually a lot
something,
better. Thank you.
That hosts the show that isn't monkeys throwing feces the entire time. Thank you. You guys are so busy with your self-consumption that you didn't even hear Zaslow's Crocodile Dundee impersonation.
I was pissed because I was going to do that.
Not
to
a one of
unsheath mine.
you. Not a one of you heard.
It was good, right?
I was pissed off because everyone had
Whatever.
plastic knives. I was going, that's not a knife. That's a knife.
That's not a knife. There's a knife.
Can you please
Maybe we let Mike handle it.
do me the favor of getting for me the photo of Bill Belichick on the cover of Us Weekly? I'd like for the
Is
people.
this the Onion?
I would like for people to see who is the real Jordan Hudson is on the cover here with Bill Belichick. And
Get the hell out of here. Dan, look at the... Dan, they lost by 3 touchdowns this week to a group of 5 team. By 3 touchdowns.
3 touchdowns and a field goal they lost by.
And he's on the cover of Us Weekly. Is there a bigger hypocrite in sports than Bill Belichick?
Well, I mean, those photos are from the NFL honors.
Who cares?
Do you think that he's talking to the publisher about when to put out the article? I'm sure whenever they talked
Who
to
cares?
Jordan, it was months ago.
Who cares? You're telling me if Bill Belichick said to Us Weekly, or Bill Belichick felt like, I don't want to be on the cover of Us Weekly. We just lost by 24 points to a UCF team. I probably shouldn't be on Us Weekly this week. You don't think that cover's getting pulled? That they're not doing it this week?
They did not participate with the article, and they did not do a photo shoot, and you're calling him the biggest hypocrite in sports.
Because, Dan, it's not just in a vacuum. We're not just talking about this. Dan, when have you ever seen a player and or a coach, while their team is warming up for a game, their girlfriend and or wife is chatting with them on the sideline? Forget that they gave a kiss, too. I know they didn't make out. That was AI. Everybody calm down. But when have you ever seen a player or a coach with his wife on the sideline chatting it up while the team is training?
I've seen like videos, like Nick Saban's daughter was always on social media. I don't think it's that crazy.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I don't know that we really ever would know just because we're not focused on
the interaction where they're kissing. Like,
this is a guy who spent his entire tenure with the Patriots not allowing anyone to do anything in the public not football related. No distractions. Everybody needs to be a bore. And now, which by the way, we've seen when he doesn't have Brady, he's kind of a lousy coach. And now he's with UC, he's at UNC, and he's this big public figure. It's nonstop distractions. And on top of it, his team sucks. His team's 2-2. They get smoked by non-Power 4 teams.
They are a Power 4 team. I just want to make it abundantly clear. You referred to them.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry.
That's a Big 12 team.
I'm sorry.
So
they only have wins against. You're right. I'm sorry. They only have wins against group of 5 teams. You're right. I'm sorry about that. They still got their shit kicked in by UCF.
Yes,
right?
they
That's
did.
the point.
when she shows him this, what like came out today, do you think she calls it US Weekly because it just sounds more sophisticated?
They got their butts kicked, and he's on the cover of Us Weekly. Belichick.
Again, they didn't participate in the article. They didn't take the photo shoot.
Doesn't matter.
He doesn't. I don't think they consulted with him on what they were doing or why they were doing it, and they didn't consult with him. Do you mind if we run this as the cover of the magazine after you've lost at UCF 34-9?
He's the biggest hypocrite in all of sports. It really is.
Is next week Mike McDaniel? Like, it is odd. It's just a weird thing for a football coach to be on the cover.
Again, not his choice. He's not the editor of the magazine.
Put anyone on the cover.
Just to be clear, you think the odd thing about Bill Belichick right now is that he's on the cover of Us Weekly and not that he's there with someone that he met when they were probably a teenager?
He's 50 years older than her. Can we be honest for a second, too? The whole thing is ridiculous.
I think most people would agree with that, but the argument
What do they talk about?
that I would make...
Didn't he say she teaches him things? Does that seem real?
I would say the only part of that seems real is that I can imagine that Bill Belichick hasn't cared about any relationship outside of football that doesn't have anything to do with football in about 50 years. So he might be a bit of a toddler relationship-wise.
Who's the last person that taught a 70-year-old anything? 70-year-olds don't want to learn anything.
You just taught Pat Riley something with that knife throwing at his groin.
I didn't throw anything at Pat Riley, just to be clear.
Greg Cody drank Gatorade for the first time. We taught him Gatorade. Good.
Good example, Tony.
Thank you, Dan. Can I throw this knife now?
I'd like you guys to stop throwing knives for the moment. Not a sentence I thought I would
For
be
the
saying
moment,
today.
seemed like an
I
unnecessary.
can't stand this Belichick. You know what? I'm in Chapel Hill next weekend.
Chapel Bill.
What are you going to do?
We thought UNC Clemson was going to be a good game. All right, so I'm in Chapel Hill next weekend with ESPN Radio. I hate this Belichick so much. I might actually buy a ticket to the game so I could sit in the stands and just boo all game long. Sitting in the press box with a credential,
You won't
it
do
might
that.
not be good enough for me. I might buy a ticket. They'll probably be super cheap. Team sucks. I might buy a ticket, sit in the stands, and amidst the sea of UNC students, I don't care because I'm not scared. You can't be scared. Everybody knows that. I might sit in the student section, and I'm just going to boo Belichick all game long.
No one here believes you. We think it's.
I might do it.
We think it's an idle threat. We think that might is doing a lot of lifting there because we don't believe you. No one here believes you. Everyone's looking at you with skepticism.
We'll see.
Billy most of all. Billy believes that you're full of shit. The phrase you just used a second ago, getting your shit kicked in. Can someone explain to me that phrase? Because so what's happening there? You've got the shit outside your body and then someone's kicking you in the ass so much that it goes back in your body?
I think the boot goes so far up the ass that it kicks the shit that is presently residing on the precipice of the hole in.
I just thought it was like your face, everything that's on the outside's in now. Like all that shit in.
$83 right now on Game Time if you want to go to that game.
Promo code Dan.
No, I want to sit in the student section.
What, you going to do like a 22 Jump Street that you're pretending that you're like a student?
No,
you do, fellow kids.
No, I don't have to be a student to sit in the student section.
Hello,
Here's my
youths.
ticket. This is where I'm sitting.
You have that backwards hat on, so you'll
that's
fit right
true.
in.
I'm a student.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm here to cheer for Belichick. And then swerve, yo. When the game starts, they see what I'm really about. And I'm about booing and heckling the whole game.
6'7".
Swerve, yo. Are you wearing a North Carolina shirt?
No, of course not.
Wear a North Carolina shirt, rip it off,
Yeah,
Clemson shirt
that's right.
underneath.
Swerve, yo.
Wow.
That's what the swerve is.
Chris, what is this 6'7" thing that's become so popular now as I get left behind by young people? What is this 6'7" thing?
I wish I could tell you. I know my daughter's been saying it. I think it means mid, but the kid, you know, Zaz, do you know? Your kid's probably saying
My
it.
younger son is nonstop with it also. He thinks it's the funniest thing. I have no idea what it is.
Anyone? Can anyone help us?
It's a meme. 6'7", and you kind of go yes or no.
Right, but
And
what does
it
it
is
mean?
basically where it stems from is LaMelo Ball at one point was asked about his height, and he's like, I don't know, like 6'7", and then it got sampled in a song, and that went viral on TikTok, and now all the kids say it all the time. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Like when I was a counselor at the camp that I work at, basically every single time they heard the number 6 or the number 7, it was just that everybody would just go 6'7", and that's pretty much it. And you just kind of do the más o menos right here.
Más o menos. That's what we're saying with 6'7", and it's because the balls are still popular with young people. The balls introduced an era of sports coverage that was different than most I'd experienced, where young people in high school were watching one of the balls play in Lithuania because the balls, after the Kardashians, the balls were like the sports equivalent to kids.
It is kind of crazy that LaMelo Ball is 6'7". He's basically Zion size.
He's the only reason to watch that basketball team for the last 20 years, or maybe longer. Maybe
I don't even think he's a reason to watch the
Maybe
team.
okay.
Put some respect on a Mecca Okafor's name.
Con Knipple, anybody?
Let's do the daily Ray Hudson dance, please.
Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. 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 This is what Dan wanted. This is what Dan wanted. He wanted a call of the day. He wanted. Ray Hudson call of the day. What? Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson. Ray Hudson call of the day. This is what Dan wanted. 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 This is what Dan wanted.
Best broadcaster in the history of South Florida. Give me a call of his. We're going to do this every day until the World Cup.
Carranza! It's a double for the Argentine. This is a magisterial goal of the highest order. This is a fabulous ball played across with pinpoint accuracy. accuracy, and it is finished with the coolness of a greyhound's nose.
Zaslow, how do you greet people from afar? I'm always a little bit self-conscious about this. Close up, I'll give the head nod, but from afar, how do you do it?
Wouldn't you do a head nod from afar? You that close?
Yeah, well, just close enough to see me, but a head nod I'm talking about further away. That a head nod, there's a range of distance that requires some other kind of greeting. I'll throw 2 fingers up is what I'll do from a distance.
A peace sign.
I'm an ally.
I'll just wave 2 fingers, though. It's not the peace sign by itself. It's it's
like you're telling them to get out of the way?
Windshield wiper, 2 fingers.
I've been doing a very similar thing, 2 fingers, but instead of the peace sign, I'm going this, and I don't like it. I do like the what's this?
Oh boy,
That's
the
a
shaka.
Like
No,
yeah,
the,
it's not the
the Jay Glazer.
It's the thumb and pinky like surfer
Shaka bra.
That's a shaka bra.
And it's just like if I'm far away, if I see somebody like, and then I'm always like, what am I doing?
Put the index finger up. You're Jay Glazer.
Yeah,
that is true.
I would lose that if I were you.
Yeah,
Ooh, the
I
index
don't
finger
like it.
does help a lot.
But that's I love you in sign
Now
language.
That's
like
why he does that. He's all love.
So what I've been doing, and it's 100% satisfaction rate, and I started doing it, and I was like, you know what? Because everybody smiles at me when I do it. That's how I know. Nobody looks at me and is like,
He just lies about things, man.
Okay, give me the knife. Give me the knife.
I don't think his confidence
I'm gonna throw.
is
I'm
a
gonna throw.
lie. I don't think.
Do you want me to throw it by the blade?
I don't think his confidence is
Aerodynamics,
a lie.
You will not throw that by the blade. You're lying about that.
So what I do is, and this works on the train. Obviously, I take the train every day, and the conductor of the Metro Rail sits at the front of the train, right? So what I do is this, and it's obviously a little bit ways away, maybe 10, 15 feet away, but it's worked as far as 30 feet. I go like this, and I walk by, point at him. Just a point. Like you. I don't say anything else. I go like this. And they point back at me. That's how I know the satisfaction is 100%.
Billy
because they
doesn't
point back.
believe- Billy-
But it doesn't matter what he thinks, Dan. Who gives a shit what Billy thinks, Dan?
Everyone wants a service dog with Steve-O.
We are joined by a very famous persona from America, and also Steve-O, because Wendy from Peru is an internet sensation. Go ahead and tell the story, Steve-O, before we get in here. And always thank you for making time for us. But tell us why it is that your dog is more famous than you are, because I didn't think it was allowed that you can just find a dog on the streets of Peru, fall in love with it, and then just bring it over to America. I thought, didn't Johnny Depp or somebody get in trouble for trying to bring an animal into the country without the proper permission? Like,
well, that was the other way around. He already had the dog and was trying to smuggle it into Australia. I was in Peru for a mountain climbing expedition, and I found Wendy here on the streets. And fortunately, the mountain climbing expedition was like a TV show, and the production jumped through all the hoops for me. So I really didn't have to do anything, and I was able to bring Wendy home. And the video I made about finding her, it garnered over 100 million views on Facebook, making it the most viewed video I've ever put on the internet. And it's kind of devastating for an attention whore like me. You know, I've like, with the lengths that I've gone to, you know? But there it is, man. So Wendy and I, we are on a rock tour as we speak, barreling towards Syracuse for a show tonight. And we've got shows every single night in the Northeast U.S., for the next 12 days. Albany tomorrow night.
This video is adorable. Is Wendy's a service animal?
She is. You bet she is. Yeah, because I have terrible issues.
You should take more dogs, though. I mean, it seems to be working for you.
I have terrible issues is a great sentence that would explain the last 25 years of your life. You've done great sort of capitalizing on, let me take a tour bus through my terrible issues.
Right. That's about right, man. I have terrible issues.
and she brings you genuine comfort she's not a professional service dog license, and you've got the proper paperwork. Steve-O is now a paperwork man with a legitimate service dog that he needs for comfort.
You know what? I'm gonna break your guys' heart right here. There's no such thing as official certification for a service animal. And because I did the deepest dive, man. I found the best dog trainer on the planet, and they were the ones who told me, yeah, there's no such thing as official certification. You know, we can sure train her, but that's never. I got a note from my doctor. I got some little weird thing online that means nothing, which says certified service animal, but yeah, there's no such thing. You can ask a blind person with a seeing eye dog, and they'll tell you that there's no such thing.
More to the point.
So we make fun of. Yeah, we travel around and we make fun of service dog vests.
I just figure that you find genuine comfort here, and people might be surprised to learn that one of a man who has been so fearless in his life would admit to needing the love of a dog to temper his issues. That's real adult, grown-up introspection one of the jackass guys is doing.
All right. I mean, hey, I'm happy to admit that for sure. And the federal law requires that a service animal be trained to assist somebody with a disability. Although the law does not require the person to explain what the disability is. Now, when you ask me what Wendy's trained to do, she is a mobility assist dog. And what that means is she gets me where I'm going because I'm not going anywhere without her.
Nice. That's why you got 100 million views. That's because people love dogs and love the story of you just found a dog in Peru and fell in love.
Well, Steve-O, are you certain there's no one in Peru looking for their dog named Wendy? I mean,
I am. I'm very certain.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, Steve-O.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Stugotz. So you are now touring the country. Tell me about what this portion of your life looks like. Could you have imagined 15 years ago that you'd be on a tour bus, not having to break your spleen doing something?
Well, it's bittersweet. I am on a gorgeous tour bus, and the tour I'm on is called the Bucket List Tour, and what that is sort of spleen breaking stuff. However, I shot it all for the tour ahead of time. It was stuff that I would never be allowed to do for Jackass, like having general anesthesia drugs administered through an IV while I was riding a bicycle, and I got another medical professional I got another medical professional to put a 4-inch needle into my spine.
I think that Zaslow is being horribly unfair to Bill Belichick. He has no control over what Us Weekly does.
Nonsense.
He doesn't have any control over that, and now I'm insisting that we get video of you booing him from the stands. You've called him the greatest hypocrite in sports.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing he's done wrong here is get outscored in his 2 losses this year, 82-23. They are 132nd out of 134 teams in offense. They are only ahead of Western Michigan and UMass in offense because they are terrible at offense.
60 Minutes asked Bill Belichick a question on camera, and Jordan Hudson said, we're not going to talk about that. And you're telling me they can't get a cover pulled from Us Weekly?
I am telling you that, yes. There is no such thing as censorship in this country that you can control what it is that the magazines are doing.
Are you sure?
Not yet, anyway. They're trying, but not yet.
Now Carr was joking around. Okay.
I have for you guys an interaction that I had yesterday, and I'm not making any of this up. This is exactly how the interaction went. There was no more to the interaction than what I'm going to tell you. It was at a gas station. Somebody pulls up next to me.
The whole interaction was just you going like this. Then
Nope, it was not just 2 fingers windshield wiped over my head to say hello from afar, but it is what made me think about this. A person pulls up to me at a gas station. I made the mistake of pulling in accidentally into full service. I didn't know that we did that anymore. I was not even aware that full service at a gas station was still a thing. Were you guys?
I didn't think it is.
Where the hell were you?
Where?
Were you in New Jersey?
Yeah, I thought that's only New Jersey.
I was on 41st Street. Wait a minute. Where is full service outside of New Jersey? Because I pulled in and I thought it was a normal gas station that didn't have full service. I thought full service was extinct. I didn't think that was a thing, so I accidentally pulled into the wrong place. But this was the interaction, okay? You look like Dan Le Batard. I do.
I get that a lot.
Thank you for getting in the way of my story and fouling up the middle of it. And then the next thing that he says is, do you get that a lot? I do. And then he looks me right in the face and says, I went to college with him. And I left. There was no confirmation. He left thinking that I'm not who I am and not recognizing me in any way from college.
He was Bruce Feldman.
Now, next time you get one of these.
I should have just left
Tony
it
pointed
at
for the audio
two
audience.
fingers.
2 fingers.
They know what it is now.
2 fingers, Rooney Rule.
Right.
Isn't that?
So you said nothing to him when he's like, I went to college with him?
Right. Did you acknowledge that it's a cool thing to have gone to college
That must
with
have been
Dan?
cool.
No, I didn't.
How
say
low was your
anything.
gas tank? Or was it just long, awkward silences?
After I drove away, I thought to myself, I should have said, was he an asshole? But I didn't. I didn't. I gave him no confirmation that any of that was real.
Heard he's a real asshole.
Well, he left confirming. He's like, yeah, I think he was.
Now, while this was happening, were you sitting in your car while he's filling your gas, or you're outside with him?
I was pumping the gas because I pulled out of the full service and then moved my car to a place that was no longer full
Did that feel
service.
good in the sinister parts of you? We went to school together. Now you're pumping my gas, pal.
No, this was not the person who was
I can't
pumping the
believe you
gas.
allowed that to happen.
That is not how that happened. You guys fouled up every part of that story. I thank you for the general support. It's why you're the best producers in the business. That's why there's nobody who's got the producers that I do. It's why I'm grateful every day that we have this company that feeds our families.
Trust the science.
So the other guy was pumping his own gas too, or that person was getting their gas pumped?
Neither one of us was getting full service. Both of us were pumping our own gas.
What kind of car did that guy have?
It was actually a car. I don't know the model, but when he drove away, I'm like, that's an old person's car. I'm an old person. I don't know who that person was who I went to college with, but he was driving what an old person would drive. It was not a young person.
Like a Buick? What does that mean?
Harry Rothwell.
No, just a big lumbering Studebaker. He went ooga when he went off.
In fairness, people of all ages can be college students. Dad's going to be a college student in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're fair. This is the time you've chosen to be fair, Billy. Yeah. It's a good time.
Do you feel bad? Like when you pulled into full service, the person was probably there. Presumably, you give tips to someone that does full service.
Again, this is not an employee. This is a person.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. You were there.
You have just people at the gas station pump your gas.
I love the idea
employees.
that it's just someone out there like changing the trash, and they're not out there to pump gas. Dan like tosses the keys. Like,
yeah,
all right, there you go.
He throws the gas thing at them. Like, here's the hose. Fill it up, buddy. But did you feel bad? Like, because that person, assuming it was full service and not just someone else pumping their gas, so you're like, oh, this person must work here. Assuming that it was a full service gas station, did you feel bad? Like, because they saw you stop and then you're like, never mind, I'm going to keep going. And they lost like the tip or whatever, right?
I was confused and disoriented by the idea that full service still existed. That's where I was with the situation. And anytime you guys mention anything that involves tossing the keys to somebody, it makes me think of the Zach Thomas story of him standing outside of Joe's Stone Crab and somebody handing him their keys because they didn't believe he was a Dolphin famous linebacker. They thought he was the valet from the way that he was dressed, and they just tossed him their keys.
That car's yours in that
keys.
instance, right?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is it considered stealing if you then take the car? If someone gave me their car keys, they just gave me their car.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too.
I think that would be theft. Yes.
Why would it? You didn't steal it. They gave it to you.
It's called a mistake, I think, that they made.
Yeah, that they made.
And then Zach Thomas can be like, oh, I'm a football player. I was confused.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If someone tosses you their car keys because they think you're the valet, are you stealing their car if you keep it?
If someone gives me something, how am I stealing it? Problem solved.
You just gave me the point. Isn't pointing like that, Tony, rude in some cultures? Isn't that something
with a different finger? Maybe, yeah. With a point, you're good. But point's universal.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is pointing at someone in some cultures considered rude? Yes or no?
All rise. The Honorable Jonathan Zaslow now presiding with prejudice.
What are we judging here? He already gave his ruling on
I'm just
that.
going to use the hat we made.
Yeah, we made a hat.
Quiet, the judges here.
No producers like us.
What are we judging? What do you
Shut up and put that
You
on.
look ridiculous.
I look like a judge. This is my courtroom. Shut up. We are judging whether or not it is theft.
You've already answered that question. There's no drama.
He didn't have the hat on.
Silence.
Silence in this courtroom. I will throw you out. We are judging the case before us, which is if someone gives you keys to their car.
You've already made your ruling.
I'm so close to holding you in contempt of court. Is that considered stealing? It is not stealing with prejudice.
Forgivable.
With prejudice.
That's not the way to do any
Like
of
your
that.
hat.
I want to get to the
I am the
Dent-a-bucket in a second, but before we do that, I just want to play for you guys some sound of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin doesn't have a lot of fears in life, but one of the fears that he does have is a veteran quarterback. And so here is some Mike Tomlin sound where he is talking about Anthony Richardson, the former Colts quarterback who will never play again for the Colts. He was taken in the first round. He had played all of 15. He had started all of 15 games when they gave him the job last year, and now that job belongs to Daniel Jones, who has one of the great nicknames in the history of sports, Indiana Jones. Here is Mike Tomlin talking about when Anthony Richardson was playing, how it is he wanted Anthony Richardson to stay in the game and no veteran quarterbacks to come in the game.
A year ago, we're playing in Indianapolis, man, and I commented to the guys that, keep Richardson upright. Don't put Flacco in the game. And, Flacco ended up in the game.
I've never heard a coach just be like, that guy, we want him in there. Do not hurt that guy.
Belichick, the aforementioned hypocrite, did say that of Freddie Mitchell in a Super Bowl. He said, every time he was out there, I was happy. He did say that. But Tomlin saying, please keep Anthony Richardson upright like weekends at Bernie's, like where you just keep this corpse, keep it alive and keep it standing up. Please do not injure their quarterback.
Keep Richardson upright. Don't put Flacco in the game. And, Flacco ended up in the game.
So they didn't listen to him.
That's insubordination.
I told you don't hit him. What are we doing?
It's like mad at T.J. Watt for sacking him. Could have happened. He could have gotten hurt.
Keep Richardson upright. Don't put Flacco in the game. And, Flacco ended up in the game.
Let's go ahead and go to the Dent-a-bucket. We are grateful for Dent-a sponsorship. Bring me the mouthpieces, please. I've told you before that I endorse this product because it has helped me with my headaches in terms of grinding teeth at night and keeping your jaw in a place where it's not hurting, because if you have this problem, many of you do have this problem, this is something that can help with that problem. The Reaper is here. Tony, why are you wrestling the Reaper?
No, just making sure he was holding the bucket right.
This is very exciting. The bucket is presented by Dentech's Ultimate Fantasy Football Punishment. Learn more and sign your league up at dentech.com.
Thank you, Carmen. Let's see. Jeremy is going to go first here. We are going to be paying some penalties next week. Let's see what we have here. Jeremy,
All
go ahead
right.
and reach in there and see what we've got.
Go ahead and rummage a little bit. Let's see. The Indianapolis Colts.
They're on the road at the Rams.
Big game.
3.5-point dog.
Ooh, man. I'm going to put it back.
Whoa.
3.5
gotta
point
end.
dog?
It's got to end for the
I like
Colts.
that.
It's
like
gonna
that.
end eventually.
Live dog, Mike.
And now Dan cursed Daniel Jones. Anthony Richardson's gonna end up in the game. Oh shit! I got the Panthers.
You loser.
I'm sorry. Carolina is on the road.
Plus
At New
5.
England.
Yeah, plus 5.5 at
You
New England.
fool.
Damn.
All right, here you go. First pick.
The Detroit Lions.
The
Lions
Lions
are big favorite.
Big favorite against the Browns.
I'll take that.
10.5.
Yeah, minus 10.5.
Mike Ryan, go ahead and select in there.
Got the Raiders against the Bears.
They're favored by 0.5 point at home against the Bears.
I think I'm going to take the Raiders. Okay,
I like that.
Really? Why would you like that?
oh, I don't want to risk getting something worse.
Just listen to Vegas. You get a slight. If you get a favorite, you keep it.
0.5 point.
I can't believe I got the Panthers.
I got the Broncos. They are 7.5-point favorites against the Bengals.
Monday night.
That's a good pull. Very good. Good pull.
I'll keep it.
What a terrible Monday night slate.
It's a double header.
2 terrible games.
That's the good game.
That's the one Joe Buck's going to, I heard. We're getting the B team down here. I got the Niners. They are at home, 3.5-point favorite versus the Jags.
That's a tricky little
Mac
one.
Jones revenge game.
Is Purdy playing?
No.
Anyone know? He's
Mac-
not. I'll keep it. Screw it.
Can you get the Mac Jones sound from yesterday? Him giggling maniacally because he threw an interception that a defender didn't have to do much of anything in order to intercept. Mac Jones with the laughter of a winner after a catastrophic mistake in a 16-15 victory that Tony has proclaimed Kyler Murray is done as a watch.
I got the Jets.
The Jets are 3.5-point dog in that terrible Monday night game against the Dolphins.
Keep it. No, I got to throw it back. Tyrod Taylor can move the ball from What's this, Notre Dame?
Oh, that's a good helmet. That's the golden helmet of life.
Whoa.
Congratulations.
Oh, my
That's,
God.
that is 3 straight weeks of buys.
That's
for
what
you.
I'm talking about.
Yes, congratulations.
That's what I'm talking about.
Give me the swap helmet. Give me the swap helmet so I can have that for 3 weeks. I got the Titans. I don't think I want that for any reason.
At Houston.
Plus
Houston
7.5.
7.5-point favorite.
I like the Titans are 7.5-point dogs.
Yeah, but it's not a spread.
I can't believe I have to watch that game.
Oh, I got the Texans. Okay. There we go. I got
You
the other
upgraded.
side. I did upgrade.
Bad
Thank you.
news for you is you have to watch the Texans.
Titans aren't a lot of fun to watch.
Oh,
either.
yeah, I got the quarterback, though. He was fun to watch.
This season, he's had a couple of throws this season, a couple of throws that I have enjoyed, but Cam Ward hasn't shown me a lot. I don't think it's great. You're not going to be able to make much of an appraisal so far of Cam Ward. He's throwing the ball an awful lot behind the line of scrimmage like all of these guys are. How do you guys feel about that development in football? Because I don't hear or see a lot of people complaining about the way that the turnover has become such a precious thing that all quarterbacks are playing really conservative. All offenses are playing really conservative.
How much does it have to do with not wanting to turn the ball over compared to they just don't have the time that they used to have?
It's emotional.
I think, well, I think it's everyone's terrified of turnovers. We've heard this for a long time in football. Every time a coach is interviewed on the sidelines, they will say we have to win the turnover battle. And when you're talking about like Andy Reid mentioned this during Useless Sound, the margins in some of these games are ridiculous. The idea that the Broncos are 1-2 when they could easily be 3-0. Like, you're talking about a couple of penalties are the difference between 1-2 and 3-0. The Ravens. Now, their defense has been terrible, but the Ravens are so close to being 3-0. When you're talking about these margins and you're talking about salary cap sport that makes just about everything equitable, turnovers have a value that's nuts. If I were to say to you, over the course of the last few years, I have told you that what I want, if you want to give me value somewhere, give me somebody who can get to the passer. Give me some things that alter games that aren't, a great offensive guard. None of us here have an accurate appraisal of what the value is of an offensive guard. But if I have someone who can either create turnovers or I have position players who consistently avoid turnovers, what's more valuable than that other than a cheap quarterback? Other than a cheap quarterback, I'll give you anything in the sport, okay? For a while there, when Michael Lewis wrote the book about The Blind Side, we had a shift in the sport where everyone realized, the left tackle, pretty important. Got to protect the quarterback. Quarterback's hugely important. Let's start paying the left tackles. What are the things you want on a football field that you think are more valuable than someone who can create turnovers? Either a defense or a player who is exceptional at getting the football back and getting your offense more chances.
The problem with turnovers, Dan, is that they're not sticky, right? Like, they're random. That's the whole point of it. So you have somebody that can create turnovers. We saw a couple years ago Trayvon Diggs have 7 interceptions, and now he's stumbling out of the block, and Rome Odunze is beating him for a 60-yard touchdown. It's like, you can't rely, or people can't be worried about turning the ball over, either interceptions or fumbles, because they happen either way, right? I think the defense has completely shifted where we're not seeing one safety anymore on the top of the field. We're seeing 2 high safeties and completely taking the top off the defense. There's no way that they can stretch the field with 2 high safeties.
It's exactly what it is. What you're seeing is a defensive response to how offenses had the rules changed for them. They adjusted. If you want the rules changed again, that's what you're complaining about. It's not conservative. They're doing RPOs because they need to get the ball out quicker. And yes, a byproduct of RPOs means you avoid turnovers, but they can't go bombs away because there's 2 high safeties there now.
I suppose I am complaining about it because I want to see great offensive players be great offensive players. And so just aesthetically, what the revolt that there is against the tush push, when we talked about this last week and I was saying that all the time in sports, because this is entertainment, it has little to do with the integrity of the game. They change the rules all the time in order to entertain the fans, the customer, more. This development, we're not going to disagree, right, on the fact that Patrick Mahomes has been turned into this. He's not nobody listening to this would say that Patrick Mahomes isn't a great quarterback, but he's been turned into something that I don't want to watch them play offense anymore. Like, I'm bored by their football games when their football games used to be appointment viewing.
So then I would suggest a pivot on your take, because you've been ringing the bell on conservative nature of offenses, and the defenses adjust, and you want the game tilted towards the offense. I actually love where the game's at right now because I like seeing defenses have a shot to compete. I know the other stuff is hedonism, and a lot of people like a lot of points. I like that there's a game now to be played. It's more of a chess match, and you get to actually see athletes on both sides of the ball.
Patrick Mahomes is actually a prisoner of his own design. Because when he was bombs away and throwing the ball 55 yards to Tyreek Hill every 2 plays, they were like, wait a second. Any time that we have one safety in the middle of the field, he's going to throw it for 65 yards and a touchdown because we can't cover Tyreek Hill. So, like, all right, we're just going to sit back 2 safeties. Good luck. You're going to try to throw something deep. So the defense is adjusted to exactly what Patrick Mahomes was doing.
How many exciting offenses in the league are there right now?
Ravens, Lions. I would have made a decent argument for the Packers just because I like Jordan Love.
Chargers aren't bad right now.
Colts.
Bucks.
Bucks.
Eagles.
The Eagles are not
No,
exciting.
not
I think the Eagles are exciting. I think
No.
Saquon Barkley was electric. I liked watching the Eagles last year, and I like that there's an unstoppable
You're,
play.
you're saying last year.
Yeah, no
So
thanks.
far this year.
He hasn't been that good this year.
They got the same personnel. What are we doing?
I don't like just.
Yeah,
It's not
football.
fun watching their offense. It's just
Okay.
like Jalen Hurts scrambling
I love
out.
watching the Bills. I like where the NFL.
Like
I like
Josh
Bills.
Allen.
I
don't
like
know about
Josh
the Bills.
Allen. I'm with you more on
I don't know
that
about
than the
Bills.
Eagles.
I don't like seeing Keon Coleman run for 17 yards in a wind sprint.
I mean, Jaden Daniels throws the ball deep. There's a lot of offenses there, and I think the defenses need a shot. Otherwise, we're not really playing a sport. We're playing a game that is tilted to the offense, and the game that we're actually playing is who has the best offense, and your only hope as a defense is a pass rush. That's not football.
Well, Zaslow loves a defensive game, but
do.
I don't think that most people do. I think most people do want hedonism from their football. I do think that
I like trench play.
Well, Tony was very frustrated by that 16-15 49ers Cardinals game and the way that those two teams play. I'm frustrated by seeing Kyler Murray turned into a 15-point-a-game player.
You don't love watching
Kinda who
Fred
he's always
Warner,
been.
though? Fred Warner, like snap to snap, is as electric a player to watch in the NFL as there is. You don't love watching the Niners play defense? I freaking love it. And I think that game is a byproduct of this is what the Niners have to do to win this game without Brock Purdy. Mac Jones is limited. Mac Jones readily admits he doesn't even know the full playbook. I thought that was fun.
Why do you like the 16-15 game and you don't like the Jacksonville-Houston 17-10 game? What are you doing?
Well, because Houston's offense, I think, is objectively bad. I think whatever it is, new OC, the pressure up the middle, as we often say. I just don't like the Houston games because it's so mundane. It's
the Texans.
It's so redundant. I did not have the Texans. I hate betting the Texans because that incentivizes me to watch the Texans. I don't want to watch them. I do agree that there are some bad offenses, but that's the NFL. There are going to be better offenses and worse offenses, just like there are better defenses and worse defenses. And I like watching certain defensive. Fred Warner's one of the few players without an all-22 that I can actually watch do his job out there, and I friggin' love it.
It was 16-15. It was a miracle, by the way, because it was 6-6 like deep into the third. And I was looking at this game, and I texted you, Dan. I'm like, send this game to the sun. Just beam it to the sun. I don't want to see anything of this game anymore. They kept going back to it on Red Zone. And I'm like, all right, here, 3rd and 18 for Kyler Murray. Oh, he scrambles out, 6-yard gain. Okay.
But you get the occasion. It's not like there aren't offensive
For sure,
explosions.
for sure.
Like you get the Sunday night game between the Bills and the Ravens. Like there are plenty of good games. I think the league is really healthy. I hope they don't change the rules because I like the defenses.
But what are you
having
going
a
to outlaw?
chance.
Two high safeties? Like, there's nothing you can do to outlaw that.
I was talking about the tush push. The reason that's going to get outlawed is because it's not aesthetically pleasing, and you can't have the champions winning 19 of 20 games when 12% of their plays are rugby and not football.
How ridiculous is that story, by the way, that they said they were going to change the rule, and then Jason Kelsey came in and gave an impassioned speech. And like, you know what? We need to keep this for Jason Kelsey. How ridiculous is
Even
that?
teams that voted against it, they changed their mind.
No, Jason Kelsey said, so we must have.
The Lions earned my respect forever because they were the only team on the Eagles' schedule that's like, no, let them do it. Because that's what it was. You have a duty to your team to vote against that since they have this unstoppable play. Like, whatever, I know I don't necessarily think it's fair, but it gives us a better chance to win.
It's also
Lions
an
the only
unstoppable
team
play
that didn't care.
for a yard. Right? It's not a 60-yard play. It's a 1-yard play. Okay, he gets 1 yard. Okay.
No, but it's a new set of downs.
Yeah, but if they could just turn and give it to Saquon Barkley and do the same thing, even if they outlaw it, like
don't put him in 4th
it's
and
1.
Don't put him in 3rd and 1.
It's a 1-yard play.
Do you think the front office like pitches that to Dan Campbell of like, we should vote no? And he's like, nah, over my dead body.
Wow. What do you like about a defensive game, Zaz? Like, I find it hard to believe you like a 9-6 game. Or like a couple weeks ago, the Sunday nighter that was Falcons-Vikings 22-6. You're like, wow. Damn, 7 field goals. This was a great game.
No, that was a bad game, the one
Okay.
that you just said there. But, a game that's 45-41 where every
Love it.
possession results in a score, that's not interesting to me, man.
That is football.
No, that's a bad game.
You wanna
that's
see
a
some-
bad game the same way that the 9-6 game is bad, man. Like, there's got to be a little bit of a balance. Give me a stop every now and then.
What about that Monday nighter like 5 years
hated
ago?
it.
The classic.
Was it
You
Rams
hated
and
Chiefs.
Hated it.
You
Yeah.
hated that
No,
game?
that's
like
NFL
it.
How
blitz.
did you hate that game?
It's a fun little outlier for it to happen, but like if the game becomes that, then we're playing NFL blitz.
It's literally whatever team has the ball last. Why do I have to watch the whole game if whoever has the ball last is going to win?
Back games, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when Dan judges you? Back games,
One of the most classic games of all time.
It was. I love quarterbacks, but I also love Myles Garrett putting a team on his shoulders, knowing how limited his offense is, and he's going to make the play. I love watching the Steelers knowing that TJ Watt is going to touch a football and make a game-changing play.
Give me a 23-16 game ahead of that one every time.
You guys mentioned Jason Kelsey. Forgive my ignorance here. That late night show, how's it doing?
It was just a limited run.
It went away.
Oh, okay.
It was just like a couple episodes during the postseason. I don't think it was ever designed to be a long-term thing. Maybe it comes back this season.
Probably would have been a long-term thing if
it performed. It
Yeah.
didn't really perform. It kind of came and went, and it was a cool little hack that they did and decided against doing it more.
The numbers that I was giving you guys on Kimmel that continue to grow, 6 million plus post 11:30 p.m. Eastern on television, on linear television, and more than 20 million on YouTube. Obviously, none of that is going to sustain, but I did want to talk for a second with you guys because of the duress that late night television is under and because everybody is watching this stuff differently than they used to. You guys do remember, right? Or maybe you don't. I don't believe ABC had late night television that was this.
Kimmel was the start, I think.
They had Politically Incorrect for a brief moment.
They had Politically Incorrect, which ironically enough was canceled for being politically incorrect. They also had Nightline. That was just a news program, which is what I associated with ABC Ted Koppel late night television. But Jimmy Kimmel's first shows, if you'll remember, he had a bar, a live audience that was drinking during it, and then they stopped doing that very quickly because
why would they do that?
Yeah, they were well, he was coming off of the Man Show, and this was what the evolution of Jimmy Kimmel into American martyr from Man Show and from drinking studio audience drinking from a free bar during the show.
That Karl Malone bit was wild. You guys see that? I have it on my phone.
23 years late night television, more than 4,000 shows, and obviously this last one is going to be the biggest that he's ever done. And it's going to resonate, but it's not going to have staying power, correct? We're all assuming that this will go back to where we were before, where late night television is dying because everyone is telling you, no, I'll go ahead and watch things without commercials on my own time, and I won't stay up into the middle of the night and do this the way that you want me to, not when I can do it anywhere else at my convenience. You guys believe what is going to happen here going forward? Because when we talked yesterday to Brian Stelter, it seems obvious that this mistake this way won't be made again, where we go this directly from threat is made and now there's a threat to freedom of speech, and now Americans with a public outcry are doing something that you simply don't see very much anymore. Like, I'm watching what I think is truly horrifying video every day about how a state militia is just treating people who are peaceful protesters, and I can't get consensus group outrage on that when that feels deeply un-American and it feels like it's an insult to American core principles. But on Jimmy Kimmel, I got something that felt like consensus, and I got something that felt like consensus when I don't believe the core principle that was being protected by Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and those folks was free speech absolutism. I think that our core principle there is just selfishness. Media members have microphones and they don't want that threatened. Like, I didn't think that was actually the reason that everyone gathered around the core principle on that one with free speech absolutism.
I also think you also saw politicians, Ted Cruz, who did like an Italian accent on a podcast, was sounding the alarm on it. You know why? Because I know what the hats say in the merch shop, but Donald Trump is up there, and this is supposed to be his final term. And there are a lot of politicians that would love to be career politicians that know the American politics pendulum swings. And they don't want to be paying for the checks that Donald Trump is writing right now because they know that the response, just like Donald Trump was a response from the right to what they saw was a more radicalized movement inside the Democratic Party, and that is up for debate. But we cannot deny that it was a response, with the seeds being of the Tea Party. They know this thing shifts from end to end, and they don't want to be on the receiving end of what is currently being dished out.
As it relates to sports and politics, Bruce Pearl has just left Auburn, and he did so in a way that was interesting to me. And I saw that Michael Wilbon, because many of these arguments are getting dumber and dumber, and I saw that Michael Wilbon was catching some heat, which I have not seen before, when it was just something in the Big Finish of PTI. Big Finish is just music and fast and happy, and it's just it's finger guns.
It's finger guns, Dan. It's a lot of finger guns. Oh, happy birthday to this guy.
It is. It's just like, let's conclude this punctuation in a way that's musical and dancing and happy and fun. And happy trails to Bruce Pearl, who's retiring at Auburn. And then all of a sudden, Mike Wilbon, because he calls Bruce Pearl divisive and because he says he's glad he's gone at Auburn and he hopes he was forced out, he gets turned into someone who gets, dragged because he's against Bruce Pearl, and he's against Bruce Pearl because Bruce Pearl is going sort of the Tommy Tuberville route after making a lot of money off of black kids, and he is, anti-DEI, and Mike Wilbon called him divisive. And I'm just curious what you guys thought of all of that, because the part that I actually found interesting, and you have to understand that these college power brokers, no matter how much we want to make them leaders and we want to make them educators, they're just salesmen and they're oily. And some of them might care about education, but most of them care about being the agents who get a percentage of a cut off of the players. The part that I thought was interesting about Bruce Pearl is you're anti-DEI, but the way that you retired, when you knew you were going to retire, you did it so that they had to take your kid because there's not time with the season coming up. They have to do it your way. I've seen Dean Smith do that. I thought Dean Smith earned it more. And this is no knock on Bruce Pearl as a basketball coach. He's a great basketball coach, also a cheater and also someone who lies, but he is a great basketball coach. I thought it was what?
That was just a funny, he lies.
For the record,
also a cheater, also he lies.
Also, for the record, we can safely assume he is anti-DEI with how public he has been with his political statements lately, which have been amplified over the last few months. And there are some people with Tuberville positioning himself for a run for governor. Some people are saying, is Bruce Pearl trying to do the same lane, the same pipeline, Auburn to politics? I struggled to find on-the-record quotes about DEI, but I've heard him say Obama was divisive. He has certainly been putting himself out there way more politically, and the timing of this is curious.
It's not curious. It's just self-serving. And look, this is good fathering.
Oh, I agree with you, Dan.
He works hard.
It's not curious, and it's not fooling anybody. It's the Tony Bennett move. You know when camps opened up for college basketball teams? This week. Tony Bennett did this exact same thing. Why? Because your university can't conduct a search. You essentially name your coach in waiting, and in this case, it just so happens to be Bruce Pearl's son. Now let's go over this resume of Bruce Pearl's son. His son is 38 years old, who worked as a medical sales rep for years until he took up coaching in 2017. He's only ever coached under his dad. Do we think this is the best hire that Auburn can make? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's the Tony Bennett move. This is a separate conversation for whatever Bruce Pearl is going to do with his career afterwards. But this ain't fooling anybody, Jack.
That Jack was not necessary.
Oh, it felt good. It did feel
good. The move is a good father move if you want to get your son the cushy job. I don't know if Bruce Pearl has earned the right to do that the way that Tony Bennett and Dean Smith had. Auburn's good at basketball. Auburn's been to a couple of Final Fours with Bruce Pearl there.
Well, we struggled to find DEI comments. I did find something from Bruce Pearl's social media, and this, I guess, is a statement. In retweeting an awful announcing article from June 28th of Stephen A. Smith speaking out for more than 5 minutes straight about the role nepotism played in the Lakers' selection of Bronny James. We live in a country where nepotism has taken place, ... Bruce Pearl retweeted with comment, "Preach, Stephen A."
the idea that you would put your son in place and you would retire at 65
Go on.
with timing,
with gimmick.
The timing meant specifically to make sure that your university gets strong-armed and doesn't have a choice but has to take your son. You would agree that that's good fathering, right?
It's good fathering, but honestly, like, why does Auburn have to go along with it? Okay, let him be the interim coach because the season is starting soon, but you're allowed to still conduct a search right now. Like, why can't they conduct a search and, all right, they'll find a head coach and you could install him a month or two into the season, like, whatever.
Oh, but it's a bit chaotic. This
right now is chaotic.
Yes, to do it and to do it strategically, because I don't think Bruce Pearl woke up this morning and was like, I don't want to coach anymore.
No, it's sinister. They know exactly what they're doing, and they want the ability to name who they want to name as the next head coach. And it's particularly disturbing when it's your son who lacks the necessary experience to run a program such as Auburn.
So what's more chaotic then, handing the reins over to someone who is not qualified to be the head coach right now, or doing a search right now and installing a coach a month or two in?
But Pearl is staying there, though. He's going to be consultant. He's going to be around. You don't
Classic move.
You don't lose the coach.
That is a perfect heist right there.
You leave, but I'm not really leaving. I'm right here.
I'm going to be here. I have this whole. I've worked this out over Thanksgiving last year.
I don't think I'd call it sinister, though. I don't, and if I'm calling it good fathering, I don't think I would call good fathering
Good
sinister.
fathering can be sinister.
It can be?
I think so.
How?
We're seeing it.
This guy fights his kids. What do you mean?
They challenge me.
I think he's a good father?
Sometimes.
Sinister? Sinister to put your son in a great job, in a great position.
I am next in line for the Greg Cody Show with Greg Cody. I don't know if you guys knew that. Guys, the NFL is rolling. Every touchdown brings you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers, this one's for you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use code DAN. That's code DAN to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.